Details and updates.
That's Wheeler Power Sports, 901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith. Keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
It's Hot Wing Madness at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Hey, this is Phil Elson. Join me and Matt Jones for Halftime Live at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith for the first 2 days on Thursday and Friday of the Big Dance. Chow down on 50-cent wings, $3 pints, and $15 buckets of beer. Hot Wing Madness is back. 50-cent wings Thursday and Friday at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies today. A high this afternoon in the mid to upper 50s. We should see a clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. Overnight lows will drop down to near 35 degrees. Sunny skies are high well into the upper 60s on Friday. Back to the upper 60s to near 70 Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm hairy everywhere else except my face.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Good morning. Well, I say let it begin. Let the madness begin. We got to wait like 15 minutes before we can actually do that. And perhaps you aspire to the theory that the tournament doesn't start until the field of 64 gets underway. So some people think the tournament started the last couple of days. We've had some good basketball games, but hey, we've got basketball in second round matchups coming up very shortly here at 11:15. It is halftime live at TGI Fridays off I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. They're doing 50-cent wings basically all throughout the afternoon for today and tomorrow. You can get as many as you want. I've got a whole bunch of them right here in front of me. Tommy Kraft crushed about 10 of them. I got Matt Jones to my left. We got basketball on TV, and man, you couldn't really ask for much more. Matt, good morning. How are you?
Man, how cool is this? Good to be here, trying to figure this out. Let's see if I can make it work.
Oh, the Hit That Line bracket challenge. We're trying to get that thing figured out here. And so I just got my final picks in for our own show poll with the three of us, with C-Unit and Steve Brackett back in the studios. And I did get my Hit That Line picks in yesterday while I was just kind of sitting there eating breakfast. So make sure you get those things in. You have to make sure you get them in before tip-off at the hitthatline.com bracket challenge presented by Moix RV of Arkansas, 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, Heartland Honda in Northwest Arkansas, and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley. I made a little bit of a change for the poll that I did for online, Matt, compared to the one that we're doing for the show, because I don't want to just have identical picks. Like ask C Brackett back in the studio. He's doing 20 different brackets. He's probably made sure that they're all like a snowflake. Nothing looks nothing looks identical. Is that right, Christian, with all the 20 brackets you've done?
Yes, I've definitely made some changes on each of them, but kept them mostly the same. I kind of like to, change a few picks here and there, but
Christian's paying attention to every granular
you can't pick too
piece
many
of information
upsets
that you
because that's
can
not
for
likely.
for this tournament. Every single So the only change I made basically was taking Auburn out of the Final Four and putting Michigan State in. Still got Florida winning the championship over Duke. It's still kind of I'm trusting that Cooper Flagg is okay, because I think without Cooper Flagg at 100%, I'm not sure Duke can get all the way there, but I'm figuring he's fine. He's not a walking boot. I'm sure he's fine. So to me, that's maybe the biggest X factor of the tournament, Matt.
Man, I think so. That's going to be a really good matchup. That Alabama Duke Sweet 16, or that'd actually be a Elite 8 game. I'm looking forward to that. BYU's a team I got as far as one of the higher seeded teams. I kind of got making a run. They're a 6 seed. I got them in the Sweet 16.
Well, let's see how many. I don't even know how many games are in front of us before we get going with 5:30 with the Learfield pregame from Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence, Rhode Island. Where, by the way, we'll be speaking with Tye Richardson at 1:45. No, 1:45. Guess it'll be 1:45 his time out there on the East Coast. So, I mean, it's going to be an action-packed halftime as we're here at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Come out and see us. We're out on the patio. They got the awnings down. They had the heaters on when I showed up, but I don't really think you're going to need too much heat because the snow last night didn't last very long. That was kind of crazy yesterday. We were at the baseball game yesterday, Matt, and I'm told, I guess it was the 5th inning or something, it started sleeting. I couldn't tell, but then when it's post-game show and Arkansas had finished their 16-0 win, the sleet came down and it was freezing outside. It was just like a little taste of winter before we get the tournament started here, and hopefully it's our last blast. But yeah, I mean, it's nice and comfy out here. We're going to have basketball and television, wings to eat. Could you ask for anything more? And then, hey, 6:10 tip-off, Arkansas, Kansas. I think this is one of the most entertaining potential matchups of the entire first round or second round, whichever way you want to call it.
Let the madness begin. Two teams that were both ranked inside the top 20. Kansas was preseason 1. A lot of talent, a lot of pedigree. You look at these two coaches. I know this is Coach Cal's first year at Arkansas, but he's been successful wherever he's went. And something I found interesting, he said he likes the role of the underdog, and we're definitely the underdog tonight.
Yes, he has pushed that, and I mean they certainly are the underdog. And I think I don't know if I viewed Cal as the underdog as the Arkansas head coach, but comparatively to I guess expectations going into a season or just via program, I guess it's different than it was at Kentucky. But that's not to say you're here in the tournament, and it's all about just advancing and moving forward, which he's been so good at throughout his career. And I was looking back at the exhibition. There's so much talk of Jonas didn't play, Hunter Dickinson didn't play, but a lot of these guys, and I appreciate that was back in October. There's still going to be some moments where you got two guys that went up against each other, maybe in a one-on-one moment or a few one-on-one moments, guys that guarded each other in that exhibition game. They remember potentially what might have happened. They might have gone, who knows? Maybe they went and watched some video of it. I don't know, but it's not to say that exhibition means everything. But these are not teams that are completely strangers to each other. Yes, the big guys were not there when this game happened, but plenty of the other guys were there too.
Well, I equate it to, how when NFL teams will have two teams there and you'll have like a week of practices, you're kind of just going over basic stuff and filling each other out. And really those are different rosters as well. It'd be about 74 rosters, and you're cutting that down to 53. But it's good to go. There's something about practicing against a different opponent, a different color jersey that's always nice. I mean, you scrimmage against each other all the time, and it's just something that even just to see a different face in a different jersey. So they'll definitely draw back to that.
So DJ led the team in that game with 24 points. Cal, that was the first player Cal mentioned yesterday when he was talking.
He better have 20 plus if we're gonna. I think he's gonna have to be our and he doesn't have to press, but he's got to take charge. He should be one of the best, if not the most athletic guard out there all evening.
Well, if I remember what the question was from the reporter to Cal, and it wasn't about DJ Wagner, it was about what Arkansas had faced. Come with Boogie out, now everything that we've already talked about, and the first guy that he brought up for a reason why Arkansas has come through that is DJ Wagner. Called him a culture builder. But you also, there's two aspects that go along with this. You lost your point guard for which you thought was the season, and DJ steps in and plays a really good point guard. And then on the other aspect, he plays hard. And if that's the first player Cal brings up and said, this is why, there's so many other reasons, but that's the first thing on my mind, why we might have come through. DJ's already played well against Kansas. Hey, you're going to have the ball in his hands today. You feel pretty good about it.
He's somebody you don't worry about. Like, you don't worry that he's not going to come out and have a big game. I'm telling you, man, he reminds me of Marcus Smart from Oklahoma State. Now, he doesn't shoot it as well as probably Marcus Smart did, but Marcus Smart did whatever you asked him to do. Play defense, pass the ball, was tough, was gritty, was their leader. He's kind of that way. I think DJ Wagner, when he gets to the next level, I see him having a career, being a six-man, being a guy that goes and guards the other team's best player because he is athletic. I see him being kind of a Marcus Smart type player at the next level.
And if there's issues for Arkansas in the half court, and there have been, and Kansas is a very good defensive team, and the ability to get to the rim can be tough, is there any more player who's more look, Billy is really aggressive getting to the rim. Carter Knox has been the same thing. Adu was as well. But that's what DJ Wagner has been outstanding at, and finishing around the rim too.
His little floater, he's got that floater working. It wasn't, you're trying to be a little more efficient. Absolutely. Billy Richmond's so raw. It's like wind him up and let him go, and he gives you burst of energy, and you love his passion. He kind of reminds me of Andrew Armstrong, how he's always playing with a smile on his face. And I do like. I loved how he wore the long jersey underneath the shooter shirt underneath. He's went, what was it, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 games ago, he went to the short sleeve.
How does that help?
It's mental. Look good, play good. Like I
don't know what it's like to look good.
He's still same. I'm still working on it. And then Carter Knox, he's a guy that he's going to give you 30 plus minutes. I'm looking for him to have a big game as well.
Well, I got Arkansas beating Kansas today. Partially out of hope. I do think this is an incredibly difficult matchup. It's going to come down to the final couple of minutes. And, I mean, we've seen evidence in both ways recently why the final couple of minutes can go your way or can't go your way if you're the Razorbacks. But I do think they're going to move on. I feel pretty good about it. We'll figure out if I make a score prediction on it later. But I'm not going to be pessimistic about this. I think they're going to advance.
I think Coach Cal has a little bit of something to prove. You think about last year bringing a Kentucky team that was the favorite. They were not supposed to lose to Oakland, and now he's the underdog. So totally. I mean, when's the last time Coach Cal's made a run in this tournament?
Well, when's the last time that his team would have been an underdog in a first-round matchup? How about that?
Yeah, and so he's a heavy favorite last year, and they Amber Hearded the bed, and you got to say Captain Jack had something to do with it, but now we're the underdog, so you have nothing to lose.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We'll have time for calls and texts as we go throughout the show, but a lot of guests, which includes Brett Dolan at 1:15. We'll talk with the proprietor here of TGI Fridays in a little bit. That's Jeremy Gardner. We're at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith, right off I-540. This is right by the Hampton Inn. They're doing 50-cent wings throughout the day, and these are beautiful wings. I mean, you think sometimes they'd be a little smaller. They're not. They're actually bigger than they were before, so go figure that out. I'm going to take a bite of those in a moment. We'll have Bubba Carpenter in about an hour, and it's Dudley Dawson from Hogville right after the break. Stay with us on halftime.
It's madness all March long, brought to you by the Crane Automotive Team. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, you need to check out craneteam.com.
With his new glasses. Looks like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. Dean, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. he also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what college football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Vuelvo yo te traje. Pago ya el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la vida.
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever. We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models.
Payments start at $199 a month.
Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, I got to know how old the guy who scored the first points of the tournament is. Stephen Ashworth is his name. He plays for Creighton. He wears number 1. He looked to me, I don't know. I mean, I'm 48, so I miss on some of these guys' ages now. But to me, he looked like he's 35. That's the next Jack Golke, Matt.
I'll check it out for you. I got Creighton in this one. I know it wasn't a popular pick, but I like Creighton. I like their coach.
Let's go to our Lewis Automotive Group hotline here on day 1 or 3. Well, let's see how he views this. Dudley Dawson with us from Hogville. Dudley, is this the beginning of the tournament, or did the first 4 start it?
The first 4 do not start the tournament. They are not involved in the tournament. That's why they call it play-in.
Okay, works for me. That'll work for me. So, man, we got to wait a little bit. Would you rather be one of the first games of Arkansas and Kansas? You knew that it would be prime time, just because it's Cal. I think they would have thrown them into prime time no matter what.
Yeah, I'm glad it's later in the day. I've got a baseball advance to write, a softball advance to write for this weekend, so I'll get that out of the way, and then we can just lock in tonight and watch what I think is going to be an entertaining game between a couple of teams that certainly at the start of the season weren't playing as well as they wanted to, and I think Coach Self and Kansas kind of consistently did that. Arkansas just started bad first and then made a run. So it should be an interesting tournament, and I could see either team winning this game, although in my brackets I have 10.
He's a 5th-year senior. I got that far, but it wouldn't say when his birth was. Hey, Dudley, who do you
He did look about 24 or 25.
He's a 5th-year senior, and he's been playing 19. There's no red shirts here, so who knows? He might be a 9th-year senior. It only goes back so far.
He looked like he was headed in for a layup and got tripped up. So,
but it won't.
You don't get a birthday, but I mean, Dudley, he still looks younger than, I don't know, like half the college baseball players right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was listening to y'all this week when Will McIntyre at 24 threw a pitch to the just turned 18-year-old ORU player. So.
Well, I mean, so that's what you're facing. You're facing this in the tournament, too. I mean, it's not necessarily the same idea of the one-on-one matchup as pitcher versus hitter, but you're going to see 24 versus 18. In what world do you see that in sports? I mean, you can see it in some professional sports, but it's not very many. Are there 18-year-olds going up against someone who's 24, 25? But we have it now.
Yeah,
We've had it for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. And we're in a phase of the tournament, especially here early, when veteran teams, as much of a veteran team as you can have in this landscape of college basketball, usually put forth great efforts in these opening round games because they've been together and doing it for a while, as a mid-major. And while a lot of the what we I guess call high elite or higher echelon teams usually are mercenaries who've been there 1 or 2 seasons.
Hey, Dudley, you look at Duke and Florida, those are the 2 favorites. I really think if those teams are playing their best, I don't know who can beat them. But is there anybody else you like? Michigan State, Auburn, Bama, Houston. Who else do you like in this tournament?
Hey, what I really like, just of the favorites, I really like Houston. I think they always play tough. I think Kelvin Sampson does a great job. They're always there pretty much at the end. But, if I was picking a team that's just kind of hanging out on the edge there, I like Oregon. And they're probably not going to get past Duke, but I like Oregon.
I got that matchup in the Sweet 16, Oregon and Duke. Oregon's they're a hot team. That's what if I said the 2 old dogs? If I gave you the 2 number 2 seeds and Tom Izzo and Michigan State and Pitino and St. John's, which one of those teams you like better?
After watching them this year, I like St. John's. They played a couple of games where they hadn't played up to the third level, but they've been very consistent. And I think Coach Anderson did a good job, not a great job at St. John's. That whole thing ended badly, and I know they got it all settled and all, but it's proof that coaching still matters. With Coach going in there and doing what he's done this year and kind of reviving the Garden and reviving the St. John's program.
Dudley, give me one thing you're really confident in for Arkansas, Kansas, and one thing that worries you about this matchup.
The one thing I'm confident in is that Arkansas loses the ball game. They're going to blame it on bringing Boogie Clan back. The fans are. They'll find something, and if they win it, which I think, as strange as it sounds, as many times as I've been on the show and talked to you, I think if they win the ball game today, it's going to be the two guys that you supposedly gave most of the NIL money to the transfer here that were injured or whatever, not playing well. John L. Davis and Mr. Adu that are going to lead them there. They certainly have been part of this down the stretch here after not playing up to, what some fans were saying their salary at that first part of the year. Even in the middle, too. Really down the stretch, those two have come on.
See, that's why it's like you play a regular season, you get a seed based on what you've done in the regular season, and then after that, I don't really know if the seeding matters very much anymore. I mean, you're going to play against teams that earn their seed, of course. But if what you're talking about does come true, and both of those guys who played very well in tournaments as well previously at their last school, and TB is playing at a high level, and that continues to maybe be an if. It's like, and forget about the boogie aspect of it too. Talent-wise, together, if they're playing up to the level that we know that they can play, that in some cases they played previously and came here hurt, and now we're playing close to that level, they're a heck of a lot better than a 10 seed. That's why. Yeah. That's why the whole talk is this is a team you don't want to face. Well, that doesn't mean anything until you start getting a run going, and it's got to start today.
Absolutely, and Bill Self is probably my closest friend in the coaching business because of the being together doing the Coach Sutton tree and just being around him a lot. But he'd be the first to tell you this year has not gone at all like it should have. I mean, they, when they first came here for the scrimmage game, the preseason game, whatever we called it, they were thought that they would be, right there at the end, that they would be a Final Four contender. I don't think anybody thinks that right now. They've been very inconsistent. Hunter Dickerson is a great player. Adams is a great player, but they have done a lot of things that is not, really a staple of the Kansas program. The defense has not been that good this year. Their outside shooting is not where it has been. And I'm sure that he's nervous as all get out about having to play a team in Arkansas that hasn't been great this year, but boy, they're coming at the right time, and you hate to see teams coming at the right time.
Hey, Dudley, North Carolina, I believe they've won 9 of their last 11. Or Gonzaga on that side where they might have to match up with Houston in the second round. Which one of those two teams you think can make a little run, can make it to that second weekend in this tournament?
Well, I know who I thought before I watched that game the other night. I think North Carolina suddenly has a chip on her shoulder. Like you said, they're playing a lot better, although we can say that league wasn't as good this year, as it normally was. I like the Zags, though. I've watched the Zags a lot this year as well. They're coming, strong down the stretch here. Took out St. Mary's in the conference tournament, and I like them. So I didn't get North. I did my brackets before.
Same. When I'm looking back at it now, I'm thinking, man, I might kind of think North Carolina could make a little run right there. That Ole Miss matchup would be a good one.
Ole Miss is saying right now, oh really? We're gonna play a play-in team, but the play-in team is North Carolina. Great, that's not. I don't think that's a great matchup for them. But yeah, I probably would have moved North Carolina a little bit further, but I just didn't. I was in this group of people who didn't think they deserved to be in it. I still don't think they did. I think West Virginia deserved to be, but I also think it's a clown show for the governor to get involved in sports and all that, and he's worried about education and all those other things, to do with that. But, it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a real fun day. This are the best 2 Thursdays of this year. I have double-checked that my wife's birthday and our anniversary are not on Thursday this year. So these are the best 2 Thursdays of the year, the start of the basketball tournament and then the start of the real Major League Baseball season next Thursday.
Okay, so real quick, just to finish on yesterday's baseball game, I've never seen they said 17 batters hit in one inning yesterday. 12 runs. Now, I've seen that before. I've never seen 17 batters in an inning. That's an outlier, of course, but it's just like I'll never forget Sunday's win against Ole Miss for obvious reasons. I'll never forget yesterday because it was just crazy. 17 batters in an inning. That shouldn't happen.
This doesn't happen. Growing up as a dad and coaching my son and daughter, when they scored 10 runs, they made them come off the field. When they batted around, they made them come off the field. And I'm sure that ORU, who really, you kept talking about this, especially that first game, they kept getting out of situations and not letting Arkansas score, and the bottom just fell out.
Hey, Dudley, we'll leave it there. Enjoy the Thursday and then the Friday and everything else goes along with it, and we'll talk about it next week. Always appreciate your time.
Sounds good.
You got it. That's Dudley Dawson from Hogville with us here on a Thursday on Halftime. We'll open up the Lewis Automotive Group hotline for you on the phones or the text line. It's 877-377-6963. Make sure you've got all your Razorback gear from the Stadium Shop with the basketball tournament kicking off today and baseball season in full swing. They got everything you need, especially to be out on the hog pen at the Stadium Shop. You won't find any place more Razorback. You can call them at 479-STADIUM. Go online to shoponrazorback.com and make sure they know ESPN Arkansas sent you. Well, Stephen Ashworth looks like he's pretty good. I knew about his name. I just didn't know how old he was. 7 points already, and you got a good first game in the first few minutes here with Creighton and Louisville tied at 15 each.
I think this is a pretty good matchup. It's 8-9. It's a coin flip game.
I'm going to take a bite of a 50-cent wing here at TGI Fridays. I'm 2 in. I'm going to try to finish like 15 for the show. See if I can pull it off. Stay with us. It's halftime.
It's madness all March long, brought to you by the Crane Automotive Team. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, you need to check out craneteam.com.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage as a service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage at CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
This is halftime.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hey, it's Tye Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan was my mortgage lender here. And Ethan, between you and Emily, over 2 decades.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of experience here to help you get closed on a home really quick. We offer custom financing available through VA, FHA, RD, and conventional loans. First Financial Mortgage has a great history of lending in the area. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Hey, Tye Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Bounce on into Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas for the best deals on new and pre-owned RVs. Whether you're looking for a motorhome, travel trailer, fifth wheel, or toy hauler, we have them all here at Crabtree. So avoid the madness of crowded cities and hotels this summer by taking your family team on the open road with the perfect RV from Crabtree RV Center. Conveniently located at the junction of I-40 and I-49, family owned and operated since 1950. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The best things in life are free. But you can give them to the birds and bees. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Your love.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, this Arkansas-Kansas matchup, the world is flipped upside down because, well, first of all, you got the two coaches in Self and Calipari that have both coached against each other in the tournament, but it's in the championship game. Now they get each other in the first round. And for all the talk of, you know, for Cal, I'm back to my old role as the underdog. I mean, Bill Self hasn't had a team that's been seeded this low since he was at Tulsa. He's talking about this at his press conference yesterday. He had a 7 seed. You know, I mean, there has to be a team that's favored in this one. But if you look at both coaches, they're both kind of underdogs coming into this tournament. Now, Kansas wasn't at the start of the season, but they kind of are right now. Not in this game, but moving forward, if they beat Arkansas, they will be.
Well, they were underwhelming this year at times, that's for sure. You know, it was just 2 years ago that Hunter Dickinson, it came down to Kansas or Kentucky. And so there's somebody, Coach Cal's familiar with his game. I think he'll have a couple different looks. He'll know kind of what his tendencies are and where he likes the ball. I mean, he's still going to be tough to stop. No, don't get me wrong, but how can you not be excited for this matchup?
You know who would be used to an underdog role here as far as being in the tournament is concerned? And I don't remember where FAU was seeded when they made their run to the Final Four with Dusty May as the coach, but Nelly has been in that role. You know, this is some. If you're a mid-major, you go into the tournament. People might pick you to get to the Final Four, but they're going to do it because they want to be an outlier and win their bracket. Or they've done an amazing amount of research and know more college basketball than everybody else. But Nelly's been in that role before as an underdog. If I look at the rest of the team, like if you've been recruited by Kentucky, if you've been recruited by Arkansas, if you've been recruited by Tennessee, chances are you haven't been an underdog very long or very much in your career.
That's true.
But I think Nelly Davis, if you're just looking at where he was previously, probably not in the American Conference, but in the tournament, absolutely. So I don't know if it's a familiar role to him, but he's been there.
I like the fact that he has experience. He's another guy that his confidence is 11. You can't tell him he can't do anything. He's grown as a player this year. And the way he plays the game, and especially, I think he's our best defensive guard. And he's not the most athletic defensive guard, but as far as his skill set, as far as his anticipation, as the way he reads the game, I do. I think he's our best defensive guard. So he's always brought it this entire season on that end. And then somewhere in the middle, I guess it was when Boogie got out, and it just seems somewhere in the middle, he started attacking on offense instead of just shooting threes. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong if you want to shoot 11 threes if you can make 5 of them. But if you're going to have an 0 for 10 or a 1 for 8, it's like, get to the line. He's such a good free throw shooter. He is our best free throw shooter. We want him to get to the line. And to me, his game has gotten better because of that, because he's playing downhill a little bit on offense, and then it just gives him a little more confidence to shoot those outside shots.
It's his ability to get to the rim and DJ's ability to do that, and Richmond with the pull-up and Knox's ability to do the same thing that I think will come up huge. And if I think of the guys that might have an opportunity to shoot from the outside, and I know Kansas guards the 3 well, but it's tough to block a 3 by Trevin Brazil. It's tough to block a Big Z 3-pointer. Now, I hope if both of those guys, one of them has their shot going, and I'm not just talking about for a portion of the game, but for the whole game, that can change things for you. Get Dickinson to come out a little bit, open the middle somewhat, and you do have guys that can hit the 3, but I'm thinking of them more of penetrating, of getting to the rim, and I'm thinking of TB on the outside.
Every single one of our players, except for 9, I feel really confident when they shoot a 3. I think all of them can do it. And I'm not saying 9 couldn't do it, but they have that in their bag, and so you have to extend on them. And then it gives you a chance to drive. It gives you a chance to get in the paint, and I think that's where this game's going to be won at. It's going to be won in the paint. Who shoots more free throws and who gets more rebounds. I think those would be the 2 stats that I'll be. There's a lot of, you don't want to turn the ball over. What is your 3-point percentage? What's your free throw percentage? I get that, but those are the 2 stats that I'll be looking at.
First round games today in Providence, of course, Denver, Wichita, and Lexington, Kentucky. Now, how many of you thought that the Razorbacks would be assigned to Lexington? Cal was asked about that yesterday as well. And here's his answer.
When I saw we weren't there, I'm like, wow, somebody must have been sick and went to the bathroom or something for them not to put us there.
And Self got the same kind of question because Wichita is close enough to Kansas, but you don't have a seed to be located close
I think
to your
if you're
hometown.
a 2 seed or a 3 seed or better, then they kind of put you in a spot like that. But when you're not, I mean, is Louisville playing in Louisville right now? Where are they playing?
That is Lexington.
Yeah, they're
it's in
right
the same
there.
state.
Yeah, it seems like if you have a decent seed, you kind of get a chance to play, more regional.
But that's an 8 seed that gets a chance
Yeah.
to play in their home state. Although they're playing in the Big Blue building.
I think Auburn. I know Auburn. We hadn't really talked about this. Auburn limping into the NCAA tournament. Are either one of these teams good enough, you think, to beat Auburn?
No.
See, I think Auburn gets past both these teams.
I think
too.
Auburn
Yeah.
got past them both too. Absolutely. Self was asked about, would you have rather been sent to Wichita? And I think this speaks to the kind of season that they've had. And he liked getting away from the Midwest. He liked getting away from Wichita, which is right there. Not right there by Lawrence, but close enough. I mean, you'd have your entire fan base there. But it's not one of those years where they're going to show up just with all sorts of optimism and show up ready to jeer and ready to tear down. I mean, there've been some pretty nasty things that have gone to some of those KU players on social media. I guess that happens in most fan bases now. But when it comes to a place like Kansas, yes, I think if they were close to home, it could actually be a detractor.
Who does this game mean more for? Coach Cal in his first year at Arkansas, Bill Self, the number 1 team in the country preseason, just a fall from grace. Which one of these teams is one and done? That's kind of you look at this Arkansas team when they went to Lexington, it meant more to the Razorbacks, that game did. There was no question about it. Which team does this game mean more to?
See, my initial thought is that it would be Arkansas because it's Cal's first year, and it's trying to build something from the ground up. I mean, literally from the ground up, and Self's been there for so long. He's already got himself a good program. He's got himself a couple of national championships, and but they've also not advanced to the Sweet 16 since they won the national title.
Was that 2 years ago? Arkansas took him out again. Was that in the 32 or was that in the Sweet 16? Because it wasn't last year, but it was 2 years ago when they had was that Grady Dick?
That's right.
He was you think about how good he is and was and still is. What's he doing in the NBA? Do you even see him play? These kids, and I get it. You want to go to the NBA, but it's I mean, you're going to go for 4 years and play in the Chesapeake Bay League.
It was the 23 tournament. Hogs knocked him out of the round of 32. But I would think it's Arkansas. It's not like anybody's job is being.
But when you talked about getting visceral with the fan base in Kansas, don't you think that that would be a good reason to get right on them and be nasty about it?
I think with Arkansas, it's like it's not a wait and see. There's been all the criticism about the way the team was built. I mean, so many people made their minds up about Cal's first year at Arkansas before the season was over. And now you get a chance to do something that's memorable so that just becomes the footnote. Like with Self's resume at Kansas speaks for itself. They'll build a statue of him there. 2 national titles. They're going to build a statue of him there. For Cal, again, it's not a matter of job security or anything. I think it's just a matter of
a building block, something to build on.
Like this can be a blip for Kansas. This is the first year for Cal, so this is a chance to make the regular season the blip, right? And have yourself a good tournament. It's not like the first game is the thing that's going to make you remember that. You want to advance as far as you can, but being one and done is a heck of a lot different than at least beating a team that might have been preseason number 1. So, more to think about it, man. I think it means more to the Arkansas program. Though if they lose this one, I still have a lot of confidence that Cal can build a team that's even better next year.
Do you see that 6'9" kid from Europe that we're getting?
I did not.
He's been playing professional ball. See, that's kind of weird too. So kids can be playing professional ball in Europe and then can come over to America and play collegiate basketball. So that was kind of a little different. But
you say like they're almost like professionals when
they're academies.
14, 15,
they're
right?
you kind of look at how they do things a little bit different over there. Yeah, but they're academies. They start younger, but it's just I'd have to look to see what his actual club team was, but it's a professional league.
I did not see who they might have signed to come over. 6'9"?
6'9", 20 years old, been playing professional like in Greece or something. I figure somebody on the Lewis Automotive fan feedback, they'll probably know and be able to. But I saw it on the little ticker
that's great.
He said he's excited to play for Coach Cal.
Well, who wouldn't be?
That's right. Who wouldn't want to be coached by Coach Cal?
You got an experience of a big man that's already come in from Europe that seems to like playing for him, and he's learning a little bit of geography while he's there too. He had no idea where Providence is located.
Don't worry, Big Z. Nobody does. Don't worry. Nobody knows.
Cal said it's an Italian city.
I bet it's
Italian city.
Yeah, see, it's an Italian city.
I bet there's I bet there's a couple good places to eat. I bet it's beautiful. I mean, absolutely.
Well, all up and down the East Coast, like there's lots of Italian.
It's the Chesapeake Bay League. That's where you get to go play if you want to go play in the G League for a little bit. You'll probably stop by there a couple of times and play in front of 17 people, or you can play in Bud Walton in front of 18,000 every night and have a chance to play March Madness and still make 7 figures.
A couple of the best Italian meals I've ever had were in Boston. I can't remember. There's a certain neighborhood, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's been like 30 years since I was there. New York, I mean, take your pick. Philly, and where Cal's from, where I'm from, Pittsburgh. It's not like Moon Township or where his part of town is necessarily Italian, but I'll bet you he's been to Bloomfield, which is the Italian neighborhood. Pittsburgh's one of those cities that's got ethnic neighborhoods like mine, Squirrel Hills, the Jewish neighborhood. There's the African-American neighborhood. That's the Hill District. And then there's Bloomfield, which I will guarantee. You get the red, white, and blue stuff, the green, white, and red all around, the awnings and everything and all sorts of restaurants. I'm going to guarantee you that he went to the Pleasure Bar at some point, which is a great Italian restaurant in Pittsburgh that's not around anymore.
I don't remember the type of red wine we had, but I went to Little Italy there in New York, the section like you're talking about with my agent. One of the first times I was there, my my mom was with me, and we went there. Chicken Alfredo pasta, and it was still today the best Alfredo sauce I've ever had. In the bread, I mean, just everything, everything they did, it was amazing.
And make sure you check out Crabtree RV Center's Greater River Valley RV Show very soon. Specialized financing, top-of-the-line service and parts department. They right now have the sales staff ready to walk you around, show you what's available, and you can do it also online at crabtreerv.com, or just visit them at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, beside the Cracker Barrel. Crabtree RV and the Greater River Valley RV Show. We continue here at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. We're going to be here up until 2 o'clock for halftime, and then guess what? We're doing it all over again tomorrow. Woo. Yeah, we're here for basketball today. We're here for basketball tomorrow. You can get over and try the new steakhouse menu at TGI Fridays. Features hand-cut ribeyes, bacon wrap fillets, chop house pork chops, and there's surf and turf with steak and shrimp. They got $3 pints of beer, $15 beer buckets. It's a TGI Fridays right by the Hampton Inn off I-540 in Fort Smith at Rogers Avenue. We'll be back and wrap up hour number 2, hour number 1 after this.
Last issue, Chaz Michaels is figure skating.
This is halftime.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Spring is in the air, and Gelco Outdoors has all the gear you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Just arrived crispy footwear, comfortable boots for hiking, hunting, and work to help you cover some ground. Spring clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Under Armour, and more. Just arrived hunting gear for spring turkey season. Shotguns, ammo, clothing, and footwear. And the largest selection of turkey calls around. Think spring. Think Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, Tye Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials. You know Thursday is my personal favorite night. We're here every Thursday. Bucket special, hard to beat.
You gotta love the bucket special. I mean, you come in, you can get 5 domestic bottles in a bucket for $15, and then you get to hang out at Papa's. It's a great deal.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
We're live in Providence with the Hogs at the NCAA Tournament. Our exclusive on-site coverage at Amica Mutual Pavilion is presented by the Crane Automotive Team. Don't let a busted bracket get you down. The Crane Automotive Team has a vehicle for every budget. Find your Cinderella story at craneteam.com and let the Crane Team put you on the road today.
I think it's so groovy now that people are finally getting together. I think it's wonderful now that people are finally getting together. I think it's so groovy now that people are finally getting together. I think it's wonderful now that people are finally getting together. Reach out and
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I have 2 kids. Back on halftime at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Jeremy Gardner's here with us. He's the proprietor. How many? Is that a good name? Is that the right word?
I like it.
Owner,
operator, proprietor.
Owner, operator, proprietor. Guy that brought us here. The guy who makes all the rules here and decided to do $3, 50-cent wings. Right.
That's right.
So how many wings did you bring on?
Well, we got quite a bit. I know I came up with 8 cases from Little Rock today, so we're good to go for the weekend.
Well, they're really good. So when I worked in baseball, it's like you do 50-cent hot dogs. You know those hot dogs are basically weenies.
Yeah, I know.
They're the size of your pinky finger. These are not the wings I thought I was going to see.
Well,
these are bigger.
When you do a promotion like this, you got to get the best cost. But I was looking at it and saying, no way, we got to do a better quality wing here. So we're gonna do both. We'll eat a little bit of the cost, but the product's sure a lot better.
Absolutely. I also saw a beautiful hand-cut ribeye that Tommy Kraft over here said he had one of those last night. I'm sure he wants to take another. I'm sure he wants to take one home with him later on. So it's not just about the wings. You got the steakhouse menu too.
Well, we got a lot of good things going here. Kind of my message to get you guys out here today is kind of reintroduce us to the community. We've upgraded our menu quite a bit. We're not the same old Fridays that we've been, the past 30 years. But my goodness, we'll be 30 years old in July of this particular store will be.
Fridays took a hit, nationally news-wise, but everything's great here. I mean, the restaurant's gotten better now.
Absolutely, we're locally owned and operated. I live in Conway. We have the Conway store and the Fort Smith store. Like I said, Conway will be open 15 years in this summer, and this store will be 31 in July. The brand is celebrating its 60th birthday this month, so we have this brand new 1965. If you can put that together, two can dine for 1965, so 8 or 9 different entrees. You can get 2 people in here for $20. Can't really beat that deal.
Yeah, you really can't. I saw about the story where Friday started on the east side of Manhattan.
That's right.
A guy just wanted a place to meet women,
That's
so he
where
bought a bar.
Tom Cruise was in Cocktail, right?
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Friday.
Yeah, we brought him and Coughlin. What's his name? Coughlin?
Coughlin Law.
That's
yeah,
it.
That's right.
Yeah, we brought him in, and we trained them to do all the bar flair, flip the bottles, and all that good stuff. And that's kind of our history and heritage. But, yeah, the guy, Alan Stillman, I believe.
That's it.
Yep. 1965, he wanted a bar so he could entertain some Pan Am stewardess.
That's exactly. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking cocktails and dreams too.
That's it.
It's too bad.
It. So the brand grew from that, and we had to get a little bit more family friendly. So we kind of developed into a casual bar dining atmosphere. So
well, come on out and see us. There's $3 pints of beer, $15 beer buckets, 50-cent wings for Hot Wing Madness all throughout basketball today and tomorrow. And Jeremy, thanks for having us out. The wings are great.
Good. It's nice to meet you both. Big fans of both of y'all. So I'm glad y'all are out here.
We appreciate you very much. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Stay with us the second hour in a moment.
Looking for a way to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button? Learner.com not only has brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site includes exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures. Check out Learner.com today.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
It's Tye Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your customer buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies today. A high this afternoon in the mid to upper 50s. We should see a clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. Overnight lows will drop down to near 35 degrees. Sunny skies are high well into the upper 60s on Friday. Back to the upper 60s to near 70 Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like to take an opportunity. Woo! To blow the whistle.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that's the perspective. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What angle one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Oh, the Creighton Blue Jays are shooting the lights out at Rupp Arena. Never mind, Louisville gets to play in their own state. How about Creighton already making 9 3-pointers in about 18 and a half minutes of basketball? They've already scored 47 points, up 18 on Louisville in the first half. It's, you know, it's all about you said you got to have good 3-point shooters. You're going to make it through an NCAA tournament. They've made 17 shots. 9 of them are threes. And our boy Stephen Ashworth is shooting the lights out from every angle.
It is March Madness. Now, is it good luck or bad luck to win your first game? Like, if you're on the golf course, you never want to birdie number one.
Okay.
It's downhill after that if you birdie one.
You mean like your first game as a bracket?
Yeah,
that you
that's
pick.
would be a birdie if you hit this one, right? So is it a bad luck or a good sign to hit the first one?
I'd have to look at it as a good sign.
A good sign. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to go. You don't want to go 1 and out, especially if it's your. Well, I don't know how many people would have the 8 or 9
play
team.
Auburn next playing.
Exactly. Yeah, the number 1 seed doesn't really do that very much, does he? Hey, C unit, turn your mic down. I can hear everything you're saying back there. Sorry. So just to get into some coaching stuff here, it looks like the Texas Longhorns may be looking for a new coach. Matt, Rodney Terry reportedly to be fired after a loss against Xavier, and maybe even a win over Xavier might not have kept him through. Like, that was one of those hires that I felt was we got into it a little bit yesterday of trying to keep a team happy and keep guys around. When Chris Beard was fired and Terry gets elevated to the interim coach, and then they keep him around. Well, also because he took him to a regional final as the interim coach. So 2 years later, looks like he's out, and Texas is good at throwing money at very successful
what do you think about
coaches.
Georgia's coach? Is that Mike White that was at Florida and then is at Georgia?
That's right.
Is he? Would he be somebody that would be an upgrade there?
It would be an upgrade. I think it'd be an upgrade.
You know, he's a younger coach. You start looking at guys like that. Maybe somebody who makes a run. What if Iowa State makes a run to the Elite Eight? You know, you go and grab that coach. Any chance Chris Beard makes a run, they go back that way?
I don't think they'd be.
That's over with.
I doubt. Oh, who knows? Maybe you got to change a.
Bobby Petrino came.
I was going to say maybe you got to change a state law about university employees. But I also wonder. You look to how Texas brings in a coach in Sark who had been rehabilitated and been somewhat successful previously, and then look at what they do with baseball. They steal away A&M's baseball coach after he had taken them to a national championship round last year. So, I mean, I think they go after big names. They're not going to go after somebody that's that's a young up-and-comer.
You've seen the San Antonio Spurs have a woman assistant coach. What about somebody like Dawn Staley? She could coach the men's game. I mean, she's a great coach. It'd be it women's or men's. Could you see something like that, or is the world's not ready for something like that?
I'm not. So I agree with you that Dawn Staley could coach a men's. I think there are a lot of
100% she could.
I think there are plenty of women that could.
Absolutely.
But I'm not sure if the world is ready for
We're
it yet.
not ready yet.
Yeah, and if it would happen, would Texas be the place where it happens?
Man, Austin's pretty groovy, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be. They're supposed to think a little bit different down there, right?
What if they went and got Buzz? Just do the same thing that they did to A&M
funny.
for baseball.
That would be funny.
But if you're
he's dapper Buzz, man. I like any coach that brings an alternate outfit to change into at halftime if it's not working well.
He would be a complete change from Terry too. Like he looked, he was just very mild mannered, just looked very chill. And maybe some guys want a coach who's very chill. Buzz would be pretty much the opposite of that. I mean, he is pretty excitable. It's not just the sweat. It's I don't know if antics is the right word, but I wouldn't necessarily call him chill.
What about Missouri? I mean, you think Missouri 0-18 just made?
You think they're going to go inside the SEC? You think so?
I'm just trying to look at younger coaches that are having success somewhere that usually doesn't have success. Just kind of thinking. I have no idea.
Well, I wonder if they really wanted to go get Will Wade, and it turns out Wade's going to be the NC State coach, and has apparently agreed to this before McNeese's opening game in the tournament tomorrow. Which, like that can't. The players aren't stupid. They're very well
aware. I like
aware.
the fact that it's out in the open. I do. I'm with you. You don't want to find out from somebody else. You want to have that conversation with your coach, and I like it.
Like that's a completely different situation than like a Schlossnagel at A&M, where he didn't. I'm not sure what those conversations were like, but I think when you see the aftermath of how it went down. Nobody at A&M was very happy with it, and maybe that had more to do with the school that he went to coach. But I mean, if you're a player for McNeese, if you're a Cowboy, and you've got a coach who had been coaching at a high level and was successful previously at LSU, and he's done what he's done at McNeese now for 3 years. They've been the dominant program in that conference. you can't come into this tournament expecting that he's going to be your coach next year, because you also, if you're going to get into those players' minds, and I don't know what that roster looks like, aren't they going to be looking to move somewhere else too? Move up in the world, get a little more money, maybe play in a tougher league. So, I mean, this is an instance of, I don't know if maybe the players are paying attention to where there might be openings for them to go here and there. The portal does start to open on Monday, so if their season ends today, they got to be ready by Monday, right? So to me, it's coach and players maybe thinking about the same thing.
It'll happen quick. It will as soon as the season's over. I haven't seen them play to see, but I bet you they have a couple guys that can go play in a different league. I'm interested to see them play.
So JT texted and he says he thought he'd seen where he calls them the Shorthorns once, Xavier's coach. That's one of the Miller. That's Sean Miller. That's right.
He was a guy that was at Arizona there for a little bit.
Yeah. So John Calipari recruited Sean Miller to play at Pitt. They're both from. I mean, I grew up watching Sean Miller.
I know the name
Pitt.
I always throw out is Jay Wright. Is there? He's still young enough. Is he a guy that would?
Heck, Jay Wright looks younger than Stephen Ashworth.
But
this
he's
guy who's
somebody
shooting
you
the
would
lights out
call,
for
right?
Creighton.
Like if you're the AD at Texas, wouldn't you call him? I mean, I know he's making a lot of money.
What they're always told, the worst you can say is no, right?
Well, the answer is no until you ask. You gotta try.
But that's the kind of coach I think they'd go after.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Miller too. Miller to me is a little bit like Sark. Not won a national title. Been to a Final Four or two. I don't remember how many. Was a good college player. Not anything past that. Faced some adversity in terms of maybe something personally he had to bounce back from. I know with Miller at Arizona, there were some things that went on there. I think with the Adidas case. So that actually would fit.
What about Sam Cassell? A guy that's been a bench coach in the NBA for years. Won 2 titles with the Houston Rockets. So I mean, he's Texas basketball when you think about. I mean, you think about Sam Cassell, point guard. Point guards to me, they see the game. They see the game different. They're kind of coaches on the floor. I think that would be somebody that'd be very interesting.
Maybe Charlie wants to be the head coach of the Longhorns. What's up, Charlie? He's on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. How you doing?
Did you say maybe I would be the coach of the Longhorns? Did you throw that in there?
I did.
Did I hear
yes.
that?
You obviously would love to be a basketball coach, so why not go to the team you hate the most?
Yeah, Phil, you're right.
Like a Cold War spy movie.
I don't know if I could, Phil. I don't know if I could turn it down if they really wanted the tuna. It would be tough, because they're throwing a little bit of cash out there. So I guarantee they have no idea who I am. So if we want to go back, though, they did hire me. We got to delete every bad thing I've ever said on this show about them because it had, and I love you guys. And so they're going to be really upset every time I call in here after they hire me. So anyway, I'll be giving y'all information.
Yeah, you'll be the Doug Gottlieb you'll be the Doug Gottlieb here on ESPN Arkansas.
You can still call into the show.
Call into 3 or 4 shows a day, coach a basketball team at the same time. Just if you would do us a favor, see that the Longhorns have the same kind of success that the Phoenix had, please.
I bet I could do that for you, Phil. I bet I
probably
can handle
could.
it. I tell you what, I wouldn't. Yeah, I could not handle A&M. I just couldn't do it, Phil. I just couldn't. I could not do it. I know they throw a lot of money out there. But anyway, I want to know who you guys. I know you got. I filled out my bracket last minute today.
Who's your Final Four?
I just want to know who was my Final Four. I have to go back and tell you, man. I know Auburn and Florida's in there, and I don't remember the other two. But I'd have to go back and tell you because I really last minute did it. But I can tell you this: if Creighton keeps playing the way they're playing right now, because I picked them to win, Tuna's about to be 1-0. So that's the way I look at it. I go one by one with these games because they're all the time. Now, how many 12s did you have, Matt, beaten? Did you have any 12s upsetting any 5s?
I got High Point beating Purdue. I don't know what that one is.
I do too.
I have a couple. Yeah, I got like a 6 seed going to the Sweet 16. Texas Tech, I got it to the Sweet 16.
What were some of the rules we were going to try to come up with here? You have to have 2 Saints, 1 state, 1 city university. You got to have there are no double directional schools that I'm aware of, but there are some schools that have the state and the city in it, like SIU Edwardsville. Now that's one. You got to pick SIU Edwardsville. Then you get a direction, a state, and a city all at the same time.
Well, I tell you, I got VCU because of Alyssa when she called in the other day and mentioned that, and I think they could make a run. I think they're a 10. I think I picked them in this first round. So, but I'm really excited about it. I tell you, these next 2 days are some of the more exciting days for me because it's almost like you don't know what's going to happen in these first round games a lot of times. Now, you know most of the time the ones are going to beat the 16s, but hey, it's happened. It finally happened. It took a while.
Look,
But,
the best part about this is the wall-to-wall basketball, right? I mean, it is morning, noon, and night. I mean, it is every hour of every waking hour of the day.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, that's what's fun about it, and the buzzer beaters. This is probably part of my favorite time of the year, and it's just because of the madness of it. And that's not to be call that out, but it is March Madness. But the tuner does want to throw this out before he goes. Look, a lot of prayers. I want to send them everywhere across this state right now. I tell you, being in Camden yesterday was really scary, and especially knowing that your family, was not too far from one of these fires. Thank God it went the other way and nobody was hurt. I just want to send the prayers out there. Look, people, be careful, man. This stuff ain't nothing to play with. Just please be careful, and anybody that's been affected by these tornadoes and fires, I pray for them and their families. Man, it's been tough. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Charlie, thank you very much. We appreciate you, and good luck running the Longhorns into the ground. If you're craving anything sweet and delicious, you probably are, because you're going to be eating amazing food while you're watching NCAA basketball. You want some dessert. Andy's Frozen Custard, as you covered. They've got the greatest frozen treats around. You got friends coming over, got family gathering around to watch Arkansas, Kansas take home a pick six or maybe 2 pick sixes. You can mix and match 6 of your favorite Andy's flavors. It's the perfect game time treat. That's Andy's Frozen Custard. They've got locations all around our listening audience. They're in Conway, they're in Fort Smith, they're in North Little Rock, and they're always ready to serve you. In just a moment, it's Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter talking Arkansas baseball here on Halftime.
McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
This is Halftime.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4. We got that wood right here, baby. Somebody better look at this guy. The best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Fishing season is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear for you. The largest selection of rods, reels, and baits by Shimano, Daiwa, Lew's, 6th Sense, ACC, Todd Huckabee, St. Croix, G. Loomis, Bobby Garland, Spro, X-Zone, and many more. Fishing clothing, footwear, and rain gear by AFCO, Brundens, Extra Tough, and Under Armour, Garmin Electronics, and much, much more. Jelco Outdoors, your fishing partner in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
It's all I can say.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And we got a lot of basketball going on today, but Arkansas baseball will be in action tomorrow, taking on South Carolina for the second SEC weekend. And we got a brand new segment. We've actually been talking with Bubba Carpenter for a few weeks, but now we got a sponsor, and it's Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter.
It's time to Batter Up with Bubba, featuring Bubba Carpenter.
Bubba Carpenter hits a two-run shot there that cuts the Phillies' lead to 1.
Brought to you by Sterling Bank, local-friendly banking made to fit you. Visit your local branch in Fayetteville, Rogers, or Bentonville to discover the Sterling difference.
Batter up.
That one is way back, and that ball is out of here.
That's awesome right there.
Bubba, how you doing? You got to be. It sounded great. I love the intro, Christian, but I kind of thought we might play Careless Whisper for you.
Thanks for leaving out Careless Whisper there, Christian. I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, not at all. Of course. So of course it's baseball coming up that we'll be talking about here, but basketball it's wall to wall today, Bubba, and it kind of like it's different for us when we're calling the Arkansas baseball games in the NCAA tournament because we're focused on that game specifically. But it's kind of the same thing as like that first Friday of the baseball tournament. It is morning, noon, and night, and it is your favorite sport to watch. And I don't blame people for thinking that these next 4 days are the best of the week, the best of the year for sports at all.
Yeah, I tell you, I think I made my parents mad. I called for a baseball practice tonight at 6:30, and so yeah, I'm not very popular with my parents right now. But I promised them we'd have the game on the big screen there at the facility. So hopefully we'll have the game going. But yeah, I'm the bad guy right now.
That's the headline right there. It's former Razorback great, member of the University of Arkansas Hall of Honor, doesn't want his own kids who play baseball for him to watch the Razorbacks in the NCAA basketball tournament. Way to be a villain, Bubba. You've never been a villain before, but you've found a way to do it.
I appreciate it, Phil. Hey, we'll have it. Maybe I will turn the radio up and have Chuck and Zim on there. We'll listen
Why
to
not?
that instead.
Why not?
We'll find a way to get it done.
Well, you got to be dedicated no matter what. I'll bet you they'll have the game on during the workout at Baum Walker getting set for South Carolina this weekend. But before we get into that, yesterday for me, I've been around baseball a long time, been calling games since '95. You were playing games before that. Have you ever seen 17 batters in an inning like Arkansas had yesterday?
No, that was crazy, Phil, to be honest with you. It's a testament to this team. Just if you look at everything that happened in that inning, 5 singles, a double, a triple, 2 home runs, 2 base on balls, 2 errors, 2 fielder's choice, an infield hit, and then what I call 2 hustle plays. But out of everything that happened that inning, can you tell me what my favorite thing was?
It was Charles Davalon legging out what should have been a routine ground out, but he forced a bad throw. So it was his hustle.
No, okay, so you know me well.
See,
yeah,
Matt,
we talked about it a little bit.
He even tests me during the show. He tests me during baseball games. I have to make sure I'm paying attention.
I was going to ask him for his Final Four, but now I know he doesn't care about basketball.
That's right. Yeah. His Final Four will be the last 4 kids he's throwing BP to today.
Right.
That's right. You know, I used to do a bracket all the time, Matt, but anymore I honestly don't have time, and so I keep up with it. Obviously, I follow the Hogs, but I like the first couple of days. I like the upsets. I always pull for the underdog, and so I like to see the big upsets. So it's always an exciting time of year, and you know, a lot of my players, a lot of my coaches, and families and stuff, they all do the brackets, and so it's always fun listening to them argue about who wins, and so it's always a fun time.
The kids, the passion they have, you're right. I mean, I love seeing the competitiveness and just how much it means to them. That's something that is pretty cool to see.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah, you know what's cool? Sorry, one quick thing. It's cool because you're diehard Arkansas fans. I like to see how long that loyalty stands when you get deeper in the tournament, you know, and how long do you go with your Razorbacks, even though you're like, oh, I love them, but I don't think they can win this game. So it's always fun to me to see that.
Well, that's why you always have a bracket where you pick your team to win the national title. That's what you do. That's why I used to do that as a Pitt fan, and they never did. Never made it to the Final Four. So it's like, well, I have a reason to root, even if I want to be selfish about it. And that's a reason I don't do fantasy football, because I don't want to have any reason to root against the Steelers. That is the one reason why. And I don't think I have the brain power to focus on those sort of things anymore. Bubba, there was something you'd mentioned about Davalon's hustle, and this isn't to me a matter of like, well, Ole Miss doesn't hustle, but there was a play in Sunday's win against Ole Miss when the Rebels left the bases loaded. Christian Fouch got Ryan Moorman to ground out to Nolan Souza, and I saw Moorman jogging to first base when he hit that ball. Now, he expected he would be out, and he should have been, and he was. Davalon did not do that yesterday. So to me, there's something programmed into these guys. And I don't know if it's just DVH or just Arkansas, because Davalon's still a first-year player here. But there's something about this team where there's just a lot of spirit, and that's what that hustle play for Davalon was about yesterday.
Absolutely, Phil. I tell you, I think a lot of it comes down to the culture of Dave Van Horn. You know, I say all the time that players take on their head coach or their manager's personality, and they bring in the right guys, but once they get them here, they take on Dave's personality, and that's the type of baseball that Dave plays and believes in. It's called Razorback baseball, and I tell you, that type of baseball wins when it comes down to it. And, you know, you can tell a lot about a player. You know, that says a lot about Davalon. In that situation, in that game, it was already kind of out of hand. He could have easily jogged down the first baseline, but he knows it's an error. So he's not like he's hustling to get a base hit. He just hustled because that's the right thing to do. And I wish more people would watch that. You know, you try to instill that in young kids, and if they hustle at 10, they're going to hustle at 18 or 25. And that's the thing. And I don't think that's being taught enough. But one thing that I say all the time is hustle never slumps. And man, if you can get a full team to buy into that and hustle, day in and day out, you're going to win a lot of games.
So going into this South Carolina series, and I think you could say maybe a concern, was the starting pitching last weekend against Ole Miss. Now, I was really impressed with the way Gabe Gackle shined through after those first 5 batters in the first inning, because after that, I mean, he gets a strikeout and then covers first on a tough double play, and then he's dominant for 3 innings. You know, I hope we see Gackle come out better in the first inning. But Zach Root had a tough start. So did Landon Beidelshees. This is a South Carolina team that can hit. But you've got to feel confident that the starters will get back to where they were before Ole Miss.
Oh, absolutely. Phil, I think, and I hate excuses, buddy, but I tell you, Zach Root pitched on Friday night. That was a horrible night to pitch. Wind's howling out. It's his first SEC start on a Friday night. I think he tried to be perfect because he knows if he makes a mistake, he gave up a couple wind-blown home runs. If he makes a mistake, it's going to go out of the yard. And I think he tried to be perfect, therefore he fell behind and did leave a couple balls, had to come over the plate, and they got hit. But I think you're going to see a different guy Friday night. Dave had to announce the rotation. I would assume it's going to be the same. But I think you're going to see a different guy in Zach Root. And I bet he's just been dying all week to get back on the mound. And so I'm expecting him to have to go out tomorrow night and have a good start.
So Carolina coming in, and Paul Mainieri's the head coach. I mean, this is a national championship winning coach at LSU. He's a Hall of Fame guy. He and Dave have gone up against each other for a long, long time, and mostly it's been Mainieri's teams that were dominant up until, I'd say, his last 2-3 years at LSU. How do you feel about Carolina? Because I'm thinking I would have liked to have you at Ole Miss with me last weekend, because if there's one person I would have wanted to be next to see Arkansas pull Ole Miss's heart out and show it to him, it's you. Nobody feels that way about South Carolina, even though South Carolina dealt Arkansas one of the toughest losses in program history to get to the finals in the College World Series. I think that was 2012.
Yeah, I tell you, it's going to be a tough series. I wish I could have been there with you too, Phil. It was fun to watch on the couch, but I'd rather have been in the booth with you last weekend. But with Paul Mainieri going to South Carolina, I mean, I like the way he coaches. I really do. Matt Jones, the other Matt Jones, and I were talking about it this morning. The way he plays the game, the way he coaches, the way his teams play hard. They don't do all that stuff that you see a few other teams in the SEC do, but they play hard. They're at LSU. They were good. They knew they were good. They just went out and took care of business. And so I expect the South Carolina team come in here and play hard and play good, clean baseball. So it's going to be a tough series for us.
So, Matt, did you have a coach that you remember in your career or any time in your life that always had a stopwatch and was timing everything?
So my pops, we were at Ole Miss football camp, and I was about going into my junior year, and you're going down to, and I didn't know they were going to sign Eli Manning at the time, but it's you going down. Me and one of my buddies go down to do a camp, and Pops is a college player, coach, whatever. He has his stopwatch on him, and I run my 40, and my dad times it, and the other coach, it's an Ole Miss coach, times it, and he looks at it, and they both had the same number, and he's like, "Oh, it looks like you could have a profession," and being because they're smartasses, it's like absolutely. It's just part of. There's always one in the glove box in the truck. There was always a stopwatch. It's used to, though, they would have them. You'd have those gangster OG Timexes, G-Shocks that were actually pretty good. You could keep on your wrist.
Well, see, now every 2 years I've got to do my best to make sure Bubba Carpenter has a proper silent stopwatch.
Yeah, you got to go mode. You flip it over. You got to have the beep off. We can't do nobody should have your cell phone ringer go off. You shouldn't have beep. I shouldn't be hearing beeps. You're not a doctor.
Did you get that, Bubba? DVH has the silent one. Matt says to have the silent one too. But he times everything.
That's fine.
He times when I run to the bathroom. He times how long I had the beer hat on my head yesterday, which. Did I set a record last night, Bubba?
Absolutely.
Look what I got going right now. I got a timer going. Seconds. Bubba, I got a timer on something going. I mean, it doesn't.
He doesn't know what he's timing, but it's been over 3 hours.
Well, I was clicking I don't know if y'all can hear that.
I hear it, but it's silent. It doesn't have a beep, at least.
I tell you, it's funny, Matt. I tell you something about a coach, though. I don't feel like a real coach if my stopwatch doesn't beep. I love hearing the beep.
I like it.
So I just feel a little bit less coachy, I guess, when I'm in the booth and my stopwatch isn't beeping. But yeah, on the beer hat, 16 minutes and 21 seconds. I finally felt bad for Phil because people were starting to look up in the booth, and there was no one on base, and he still got his beer hat on. So that number is going to go down in history.
These things weigh less than an ounce. I had no clue it's on my head, but they kept scoring. So maybe it's not a bad thing. It can't be a bad thing. Bubba, we'll leave it there. I appreciate this. Looking forward to more visits on these Thursdays, and of course over the weekend with Arkansas and South Carolina. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. I appreciate y'all having me on. Go Hogs.
Absolutely. That's Bubba Carpenter. It is Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter every Thursday. It is brought to you by our friends at Sterling Bank. When it comes to banking, you deserve a pleasant and productive experience, one that puts you first. You'll find that at Signature Bank. It's your community bank right here in Northwest Arkansas. Top-notch customer service. Every transaction feels personal because they're not just your bankers, they're your friends and your neighbors. Signature Bank is deeply committed to the people, businesses, and organizations that make NWA thrive. Their passion for growth and progress fuels everything they do. So you can visit them in Fayetteville, Rogers, or Bentonville. Go online to stirbank.com to learn more. Stay with us. More halftime after this.
Don't let a busted bracket get you down. The Crane Automotive Team has a vehicle for every budget. Find your Cinderella story at craneteam.com and let the Crane Team put you on the road today.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
The referee looks at his watch, and that's half-time.
This is halftime.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours without enough help? You can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Hi, this is Sydney from Ben Garen Golf Course. Our 2025 annual memberships are still available for purchase. Be sure to stop by for more information. We're excited to announce that signups for our youth golf program are now open for the spring session. The Ben Garen Youth Golf Academy is a fantastic way to introduce your kids to the great game of golf. Our program focuses not only on the skills of golf, but also teaches the values of integrity, self-confidence, and a strong work ethic. We offer classes for kids ages 3 to 16, and our spring session will run from March 25th to May 16th. For more information or to sign up, please call us at 479-646-2444.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, I got a couple more games underway in the basketball tournament. High Point and Purdue are at halftime. Purdue up by 10. Wisconsin and Montana are underway shortly. And then SIU, Edwardsville, and Houston get the first number 1 seed that gets things going. That'll be a 1 o'clock tip-off on TBS. Of course, 5:30 airtime, Arkansas and Kansas from Amica Insurance Pavilion, Amica Mutual Pavilion. So I believe what it used to be the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Is 5:30 when the game starts?
5:30 airtime. That's the pregame show.
I got you.
That's right, here on this station, and then 6:10 is tip-off. Our Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open at 877-377-6963. Brent is with us out of Searcy. Good afternoon, Brent. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing great, Phil. How about you and Matt? I know y'all are doing good. Y'all are eating chicken wings and watching the game.
Yeah, it can't be much better than that. Yeah, 50-cent wings at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Basketball and television. Sitting next to Matt Jones.
There's TVs everywhere. They got a nice outside. The weather's perfect. I mean, get out here and check it out.
I hope you got some nachos with you, too. You got to have nachos while you're watching ball.
Well, it's tough to eat nachos and host radio at the same time, but I'll take that under advisement. I do love nachos.
Well, that's true. Phil, I got a question. Who gets the win in that in the baseball game yesterday when Colin Fisher goes?
Well, it was Fisher got the win, and it's just because there's a pitch count. Midweek games will be different than the weekend. The weekend, you got to go 5 innings as a starter to get the win. Midweek, there's going to be a pitch count. So if that's understood, then whomever the pitcher is when the team takes the lead will get the win. It's different than pro ball.
Okay, I've always wondered about who gets the win in a midweek game. I know it sounds like a dumb question, but
no, dude, there are a lot of people ask about that because we always understand the idea of a starting pitcher in baseball is you got to go 5 innings, unless it's Tuesday or Wednesday in college baseball, and then if there's a pitch count, see, there's all these exceptions.
What does our rotation look like for this week, Bill?
Yeah, I don't think you change it. I just don't think you change it even after last week. You don't want to show that you don't think that Root can get back to where he was before last Friday, and I don't think you want to 1 week after the other just make a change because of one poor performance by each starting pitcher. So I would assume they're going to go with what they went with last weekend, which would be Root Friday, Gackle Saturday, Beidle Sunday, and I still don't know about any availability of Gage Wood anytime soon. I know they threw a pen in Oxford. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it was the step forward they were hoping for. Not like it was a necessarily big setback, but I think Beidle will be your Sunday guy at least for the near future too.
And I agree with you. There's no need. I would doubt very seriously that Root has a start like he did last Friday, which wasn't all bad. I mean, Ole Miss hit them where we weren't a lot of times, and I think Beidle will bounce right back. So I think we're fine there.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, now look, if it happens 2 weeks in a row, if it happens 3 weeks in a row, then yeah, maybe you end up changing some things. But the other aspect is you got to have somebody that's pitching well to go to on a Friday to feel like, yeah, well, this is gonna save the issues we have on a Friday. You can't just say, well, we'll take the Sunday guy, throw him to Friday. What if he's not pitching well? But I bet they'll figure this out. This pitching staff, this rotation is too talented, too good to not bounce back from a tough weekend. And pitching at home, I think, will help.
Who's going to be who's going to be the new women's coach, Phil? Do you know? Have you heard anything?
All I hear is just rumors thrown around here and there, and I think right now there's just a lot of quiet about it. While Kelly Harper gets hired by Missouri, and we're just sort of sitting here waiting. It's like a stasis right now, and that makes me believe that the candidate could be in the tournament right now. Yeah, I thought Kelly Harper would be a name that would get considered here. Maybe she was, but Mizzou makes sense for her too. Coaching at Missouri State, that does make sense.
Yep.
I still wouldn't be surprised if the Grand Canyon coach Molly Miller is not still a candidate. I still think that could be a possibility.
Would you not, even with Arizona State coming open, and she could get that job and not have to move?
Well, I mean, she's from Springfield. I can't get into her head and think about this kind of stuff. I mean, the Big 12 is a good women's basketball league, but it's not the SEC. I would assume, I don't know what the money situation would be from one place to the other. You want to go home? Is home, the Ozarks, or is home where you are right now, which is Phoenix? I don't know what she's thinking about.
I got you. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Enjoy yourself.
Hey, I appreciate it, Brent. It's always good to hear from you. 877-377-6963 for our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. It is halftime live at TGI Fridays off I-540 in Fort Smith. They're doing Hot Wing Madness all throughout the basketball tournament today and tomorrow, and that's 50-cent wings, and they just dropped a few of them in front of me. We're going to break. We've got Tye Richardson out there, and we can't call this behind enemy lines because it's neutral site. He's out there in Providence, part of our Crane March Madness Providence coverage, and we'll have Tye with us after the break. Stay with us.
The jerk store called. They're running out of you.
This is halftime.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a store card. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit Valley Family Dental.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Después yo te traje. Pago ya el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la vida.
It's back, the Ultimate Challenge at Lewis Automotive, and it's bigger than ever. We're on a mission to sell 555 vehicles in the month of March, no matter what it takes. We've got more than 1,000 vehicles to choose from, more than $2 million in discounts, and we're not holding anything back. All month long, get up to $20,000 off MSRP or 0% financing on select models.
Payments start at $199 a month.
Find the ultimate selection, the ultimate discounts, the ultimate financing, and the ultimate amount for your trade.
Only at the Lewis Automotive Group's Ultimate Challenge.
Insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
We're live in Providence with the Hogs at the NCAA Tournament. Our exclusive on-site coverage at Amica Mutual Pavilion is presented by the Crane Automotive Team. Upsets, buzzer beaters, and one shining moment. That's what March is made of. For the Crane Automotive Team, March means more access to the best new and used vehicles around. Find more madness all March long on craneteam.com.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Let's go to our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. The one and only Tye Richardson has given us a call from the city of Providence, Rhode Island. He's there for our Crane March Madness coverage, presented by Crane Automotive Team. If in a market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, just check out craneteam.com. Tye, what you doing leading up until when you got to get back into the building to cover this ball game?
Well, Phil, just hanging outside a local alley right now. I've got some work I got to do this afternoon, but took a break for a sec, finish some stuff up, and then get ready for not just the Arkansas game, the St. John's game later tonight.
See any Razorback fans out there? And look, like St. John's, it's New York's team. They don't have like a huge fan base, but when they're good, the city will get behind them. Are there a lot of St. John's fans there?
Yeah, that's probably the fan base I've seen the most. Not a ton of Kansas fans thus far, but I just kind of was walking around earlier and just checking things out, and I've seen a good amount of Razorback fans. I was kind of curious. We saw some on the last few flights, but yeah, I think you'll see a good amount of red, not just the Red Storm tonight, but the ones that will be wearing Razorback red.
Who are you looking forward to as far as the matchup? Are you looking forward to our bigs, or are you looking forward to our guards, Ty?
I think it's got to be how they stop Hunter Dickinson, Matt. I mean, Big Z, he hadn't played well as of late. Jonas Adu and Trev have played awesome. So, I mean, can you see a good game from really all three of those guys? And where the thing about Hunter Dickinson is, like, he's not gonna necessarily step out and guard Big Z on the perimeter. So he's gonna have some opportunities. And can you pull him out? So whether it's Boogie Fland or Carter Knox or Billy getting to the rim, I really want to see that front court matchup tonight, Matt Jones.
Do you really expect much from Boogie? Like Cal said yesterday, even in the workout, that Boogie's thumb was still kind of bothering him a little bit. So I don't know what to expect from him.
I'm the same way, Phil. We talked about that. And I think, like, for me, I mean, Thomas labeled it as like 5,000. That makes sense. I don't think, like, you need 10 and 8. You need, like, 5 and 3. I mean, you just don't need a ton from him tonight. Spell DJ when he gets tired. Maybe come in a situation, knock down a 3. But I'm not expecting double digits at all tonight, just especially for a guy coming back who, by the way, is a true freshman playing his first ever NCAA tournament game.
I'll tell you where he's going to play. He's going to play leading into ball out of bounds 30 seconds before a potential media timeout. That's where he's going to play. It's to give guys not just a rest for a couple of minutes, it's to give them a rest leading into commercial breaks and that sort of thing. And I mean, that's valuable. I just don't know what kind of production he'll get. I do think the minutes will mean something, though.
Is that what you tell Bubba before you got to go to the bathroom during a baseball broadcast? Still, it's like, I need you to cover the back end of this break so I can get to an early start before we come back.
No, he times my trip to the bathroom, Ty. It was like literally I'm trying to set a personal land speed record to make it back from the urinal in less than 90 seconds. That's what he's doing.
It's the one time I sat with you guys and just didn't say a word. It was really funny to watch stuff like that, the ins and outs and everything else. Just getting a chance, and if they do advance tonight, then that's less minutes they'll have to play on Thursday as well, with Boogie being inserted. Maybe he plays more against either St. John's or Omaha, but that's all assuming they can beat the Jayhawks later on.
What's this building like? I know it's the home of the Friars, the home of the Providence Bruins, which is the Bruins American Hockey League affiliate. So that means there's a cold floor. What's the building like?
They've had a Jurassic Park show here too. I mean, it seems really like a not just a basketball arena, but a community center. It's old looking on the outside, so I would say, but inside, I mean, the floor looks good. There's not really a bad seat in the house. I think, if you made your way to Providence, Rhode Island, I think you're going to be, from just a value standpoint, I think it's going to be worth the money tonight just because of it's condensed. It's not like some other places. It's not like Rupp with 24/5 when you'll have people up the rafters. This is a much closer venue that fans get to take in tonight.
Matt, did you ever play on a basketball court that was laid over top a hockey rink?
Ooh, that's
you can feel it.
That's a good question. I don't know that I have. I don't know. Hey, Ty, when you think about this game, what do you think it's going to be? A gritty, low score, like first one to 71. What's the advantage? What does Arkansas need to do to come away with a victory?
I think so, Matt. I mean, Kansas is top 15 in defense. Hogs have really turned up their defense since the back half of SEC play. Tommy and I were talking the South Carolina game. First one to 71 wins, and Hogs scored 72. I could see a similar scenario where it's just kind of a grind it out, throw it in the post, back people down, and a lot of maybe fouls here and there. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a very defensive battle throughout the night.
Well, I'd say enjoy the game, but I'd rather Arkansas win, and then you can enjoy that, and then we can have you on tomorrow and worry about a second-round matchup and all of that. So just do your job well today, Ty, okay?
I'll do my best, Phil. See you, Matt.
You got it.
Woo pig suey.
It's Tye Richardson, part of our March Madness coverage, and we appreciate the Crane team for helping us out with that.
What a cool trip he gets to go up there at his age and doing what. I mean, that's got to be such a fun time for him.
Get to see
what is Tye?
see
Ty's
the
like
world.
28, right?
He's 30.
30. So he's 30, getting to travel up there and watch the Hogs play. I mean, what a cool time.
We get one more hour of halftime as basketball continues. Our Lewis Automotive Group hotline open, 877-377-6963, and much more in a moment.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Shirley's Tax Service has been serving the River Valley for 49 years and has won the Times record Best of the Best 8 years running. Shirley's is in the top 2% of independent tax offices nationwide. Shirley's takes pride in providing superior service at a price a working person can afford. Shirley's has 6 locations, now open in Ozark. So if you're looking for the best, fast, friendly, professional service in town at a price a working person can afford, call Shirley's Tax Service today, 922-1040. That's 922-1040.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies today. A high this afternoon in the mid to upper 50s. We should see a clear to partly cloudy sky tonight. Overnight lows will drop down to near 35 degrees. Sunny skies. Our high well into the upper 60s on Friday. Back to the upper 60s to near 70 Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
They're on a mission. This team wants to make sure that we get to the end.
All of the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that's the perspective.
Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What's angle one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Rolling on into the third hour. It's 101 here on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing back in the ESPN Arkansas headquarters. We are live at TGI Fridays, 5540 in Fort Smith for basketball and hot wing madness and French fries, which went down really easily. I've got 5 wings down the gullet. And
there's 4 games on right now.
See now,
so there's 4. Whatever game you want, they got it going on. Plus a couple more.
I still remember when you just had the one channel that you could watch this tournament on,
yep.
And they would take a pause in the early evening for the evening news. It'd be like, get that off the screen for crying out loud! What happened to my wall-to-wall basketball?
I'm just glad Bubba Carpenter's not my teacher, because in 7th grade or 6th grade, 5th grade, whenever the Hogs would make the tournament. If they were playing at 1:30, like if they're playing right now, our teacher would put those on, and that's what we were doing for class today. So they made sure that if you were in Arkansas, we were going to watch this Razorback basketball game.
I like your teacher.
That's right. That's right. Come on, Bubba.
Well, I had a teacher that would not let me listen to the Pirates broadcast for opening day when I was a kid, and at 8 years old, that's what I wanted to do. I don't want to be in school.
That's right.
I don't remember whether they were playing, because if they were playing at home, we'd have been there. Dad would have taken me out of school. Like that mattered a little bit more. But yeah, don't you? You got to schedule practices. I'm not going to criticize Bubba for this.
I know.
I'll say one thing.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm joking with you too about it. It's just, if you're taking batting practice and you're having a whole workout and everything, and you put the game on the video board, because we've done this at Baum, SEC tournament or the fire. I actually think I remember watching, forget which game it was, but I think it was one of the tournament games with Muss as the coach, and it's up there in the video board while the guys are having a pregame workout. It's like these are the most intense games of the season. Just like take your eye off the ball just for a split second. I just want to see this one play here, and you see somebody standing at home plate with the pitcher waiting to throw a pitch, and he can't because he wants to watch these 30 seconds of what could end the season. So yeah, I do love this YouTube idea though. Then I can't do it during football season, but maybe during the basketball tournament you can. Can you watch 4 games at once? Now that we got 4 games going at the same time, maybe you can pull it off. You got Montana, Wisconsin, SIU, Edwardsville, Houston, High Point, Purdue. Watch out, Purdue. High Point's within 6 in the second half. And Creighton, Louisville, which looked like it was going to be a blowout, and Creighton's up by 12 points with about 5 minutes left. And then Auburn will get underway. That's an interest. Now, you would expect it's going to be a blowout, 31.5-point favorite, but Auburn plays a school that is located in Montgomery, I think about an hour away. I mean, that would be like Arkansas playing UAPB in the basket in March Madness.
And here's the deal: if you're going to expand the tournament, I don't know what you call getting a bye, because really everybody gets a bye except for 8 teams. If you're looking at it now, you don't want these 1 versus 16. You don't want to watch a game where somebody's favored by 28 points, and that's what you're going to do if you expand the tournament to an extent. So how many people would you start if you're going to expand it 20 more teams? Because these are teams that aren't going to make a run. I don't know. I don't want them to expand it that way where you just see them blow. Nobody wants to watch somebody get beat by 23 unless it's your team beating somebody by 23.
I also think it's a little odd it's like you would look at the SEC tournament and there are real advantages built in to your seeding.
Double bye, right?
Right, because you get
same thing in the NFL with the Super Bowl. They used to have to give 2 teams a bye where all you had to do was win 2 games and you're in the Super Bowl. That's bananas.
So Ole Miss has a leg up on North Carolina because they didn't have to play a game. Ole Miss is a 6 seed. What did they do to earn that kind of advantage over somebody? Now you could look at it both ways if you want to. North Carolina's had a game in hand. They're in rhythm. They've just won a ball game. They're playing with confidence. But they also had to travel. And Ole Miss has already been wherever that game's being played. So that's a built-in advantage for a 6 seed. And what does a 6 seed earn that for? For one seed, I got to get Auburn, essentially getting a bye over the team they play next. But then you'd already say there's a built-in advantage because an Auburn team's going to have that much more talent than Alabama State. Same with Florida and Norfolk State. So the first four thing, I get the idea of a play-in. I don't see the logic to why a 6 seed gets an unnatural advantage over an 11.
In the last 2 months, or I guess about 40 days, North Carolina's only lost to Duke and Clemson. So I know they started off not doing that well, but they're one of the hottest. They lost to Duke by 3 points in a game. They've lost to Clemson, and that's in their last 12, 13 games.
Are we looking at this at all from you're rooting for the SEC? Because I think maybe there could be programs that you would be okay pulling for, but overall, I'm not rooting for the SEC to have some grandiose, amazing tournament to justify what everybody's been talking about. So I don't know if the tournament necessarily tells you who the strongest conference is. Your record against non-conference teams before the season started has a lot to do with how we view this. But I'm not rooting for the conference. I don't root for the conference in baseball because what are you going to do? Pull for Mizzou? Are you rooting? Nobody rooted for Texas yesterday as an SEC team. I've got Florida in the finals. I don't have a feeling one way or the other about the Florida Gators, and maybe that's why I put them there. I have Tennessee in the Final Four. I got a certain feeling about Tennessee sometimes. Maybe that's why I didn't pick them in the finals. Do I want Tennessee in the Final Four? Heck no. But I do think they'll make it there because I do think the SEC's been the strongest conference. But I don't know if I'm rooting for that to be confirmed by anything that happens in March and early April.
No, one-game tournament, it tells a little bit, but it doesn't tell the whole story. When you have a 7-game series, that's how you can really tell. But that's the beauty of this tournament, and that's why you can have Cinderella. I have 4 teams from the SEC in the Sweet 16, and then I have 3 teams from the SEC in the Elite 8, and I only have 1 SEC team making to the Final Four. So what is success? I think anything over 4 teams from the SEC that make the second weekend, the Sweet 16, then I think it's success. The one thing you don't want to have is one team show up to the Sweet 16. I think the SEC can get 4 teams to the second weekend.
If there aren't 4 teams out of this league that make it to the Sweet 16, it doesn't make any sense.
They won't get 13 next year then. I think that might weigh. I think that might. Do you think each year's taken just individually, or they look at that if you don't show up and play well, it kind of doesn't give you 13 teams next
Maybe
year.
It gives a little bit of a different view on how you viewed the metrics that led you to put 13 or 14 teams in anyway. But I don't know if you look at one tournament from one year to the next and say, well, we've got to think about it in a different manner. I think the SEC deserved the teams that they got
Absolutely.
in. There's never been a conference that won 89% of their non-conference games in the regular season. They're not going to win 90% of the non-conference games in the postseason, but there's going to be people that point, to whatever they want to justify however it is they want to put it across. But I think I've been watching, and all I've watched is Arkansas games this year. So I've seen every SEC team at least once, and some of them twice. Talent-wise, this is the best basketball I've seen in the SEC since I've been paying closer attention to it. That's all I needed to know is what I was watching on television.
It's the oldest SEC I've seen. I know you gave the stat in baseball world how it's 1.9 years older than it was like 3 years ago. The SEC basketball world, they're more physical. They're guys that aren't NBA guys. Really, where's Janai Broome going to go play in the NBA? He's an undersized power forward that's slow and doesn't play above the rim. You start looking at, okay, well, what can he actually do at that next level? He could be a piece maybe that could be on the end of the bench, but you don't necessarily see. He's not like a lottery pick is what I'm getting at. There was 3 SEC guys drafted in the first round last year, and 2 of them were guys that Coach Cal coached. You look at it, it's because they're older. They're Sam Hartman. They're Bo Nix.
They're more refined. They know what they're doing more.
Like the kid from Creighton. He's a 5th-year senior, and every single year he's played more than 19 minutes a game, and he's been able to play 5. I thought you had to take a redshirt year. So it's like they've played a lot more basketball. It seems like now than 15, 20 years ago.
Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, and Jim in Greenwood has called us. Good afternoon, Jim. How's it going?
Hey, going great. The wind is down a little bit today. A little bit better today than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I have a question for Matt about Les Miles and LSU. Wasn't he playing when Les was coaching at LSU?
Saban was LSU when I was there. You had Don Shula was at Alabama. I think my last 2 years we beat Alabama a couple of times.
I remember that.
Remember that. It's been a
Well,
while
I
since
wanted to
saw it.
bring up the Les Miles calling Arkansas.
Okay.
And I saw somebody online the other day that said they were from Kansas, and I wanted to say, aren't you saying Kansas? Kansas. If they're going to play that game, we can play that game too, right?
That's right.
Jim, the first time I realized that there's this thing with Kansas and Arkansas is when I went to Wichita with the Travelers for the first time, and they call the river the Arkansas River there. It was like, well, hold on a moment. It's the same river that goes through our state. It's the Arkansas River every other state except in Kansas, and they want to be cute about it, so that's all right. They can call it what they want, I guess.
Yeah, and so the coach from Kansas, isn't he from Arkansas?
Self? I don't think he's from Arkansas. Isn't he from Oklahoma?
Well, didn't Dudley say there's
that.
There's a lot of Arkansans that I think that they identify with Bill Self.
He's from Okmulgee, but I mean, it's not Arkansas, but it's pretty close.
Okay, I'd always understood he was from Arkansas.
He's a northeast Oklahoma guy. Tulsa,
I think
ORU.
Dudley said it was his best relationship with the coach in this tournament.
I think Clay said the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There was a couple
Yeah, and had he ever been interviewed at Arkansas before?
Did he coach at Tulsa? Is that where Bill Self coached a little bit? Yeah, there you go. That's why
I think there was talk about him maybe being a head coach at Arkansas after Illinois. But is that when they went with
kind of like when Mike Anderson
Altman
was leaving or something?
Yeah, that might have been around. No, I don't know if it was around the time that Coach A left. It was before that, but I remember that there was talk that he might end up being an Arkansas coach. Jim, thanks for calling. Appreciate you. We'll go to Brett Dolan in a moment. Want to remind you about Wood Power Sports. If you're looking for a side-by-side, a motorcycle, ATV, zero-turn mower, there are 3 locations, all in our listening audience, for Wood Power Sports. They're in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville. Got all the brands you're thinking of, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Hustler, just to name a few. These great locations providing outstanding service and parts, even deliveries, and you can learn more at woodpowersports.com. Wood Power Sports is a solid name you can trust. It's Brett Dolan on Halftime in just a moment.
It's madness all March long, brought to you by the Crane Automotive Team. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, you need to check out craneteam.com.
On second down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. 25 to 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards. And the Razorbacks increase their lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
At 810 Billiards and Bowling, we've got everything you need for a good time. Drink up, chow down, rack 'em up, and knock 'em down. In other words, be social. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 7. Catch the big game on our giant screens and check out the newly expanded arcade and mini golf. Oh, and don't forget to try the new double-decker burger. It's a game changer. Let the fun begin at 810 Billiards and Bowling, 5609 Rogers Avenue, Suite F in Fort Smith. See you there.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please visit our Facebook page for more information or call our office at 479-452-2260.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Spring has arrived, bringing warmer days, road trips, and unpredictable spring showers. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we'll make sure your vehicle is ready for all your spring adventures. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your ride for whatever the season brings. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
To our last caller's point, Clark and Van Buren had texted in the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I've read this before. Apparently there's a law on the books in Arkansas where it's illegal to pronounce the state Arkansas. How do you like that? I think that's actually the way the state was pronounced for a while, up until the late 1870s or something.
There's a law in France that you're not allowed to name a pig Napoleon.
Is there? Well, there should be.
Just try and stop me.
We got Brett Dolan on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Brett, good afternoon. Happy day 1 of the NCAA basketball tournament. What you watching now?
Well, I just took in a little bit of that Creighton-Louisville game just to kind of get my taste ready for the rest of not just today but this weekend. So it's a fun week, and you and I kind of live in the college baseball world, so we're on overload this week and next between the combination of basketball and baseball and all the fun.
Hey, Brett, before we kind of get into some more of this college basketball, well, I guess this is still a college basketball question. I like Coach McDermott at Creighton, but earlier in the show we were getting into who would Texas go after, what kind of coach would be at Texas basketball, and we were kind of throwing out some names. I'd said something, Sam Cassell, the bench coach in the NBA, like if he was interested. Do you call Jay Wright just to say, hey, do you just gauge his in? Who do you think would be a next good coach at the University of Texas?
Well, it's a great question. I don't know if I have a great answer, but I think the thought process you're going through is the right one, Matt. I think and this is how Texas thinks, and we all know it, you start at the top, and if that's Jay Wright, you at least pose a question to him, or you go after some of the other young coaches in the country, because I don't think they want a first-time head coach. I don't think they want someone who doesn't have a little meat on the bones from an experience standpoint. So I'm curious. I have a feeling they've probably been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks, if not months, the way the Texas season has gone. So they may move quickly whenever they get an opportunity, if they still have a coach that's in the middle of the tournament or not. But I don't know if I have a great answer for you yet, but I don't think it'll be someone that will catch us by surprise, at least from a name standpoint.
Well, they like to raid the SEC. Just look at what they did, getting Vic Schaefer, getting Schloss. Do you think? Now I know it's a year away from when it happened, but if it was a year before and they were to get rid of Rodney Terry, they'd have gone after Cal, or at least made a phone call, right?
No doubt. Absolutely. I mean, I think that kind of fits into what Matt was talking about. You think of the people that have had great success, that have won championships. And I'm not just talking about people that have won conference championships. You want people that can compete for national titles, and that fits into that Schlossnagle angle too. I mean, obviously, he was in their own state and in their own conference, but they felt like he was the best of the best, because we know they're going to pay them accordingly. And you're not going to go out and give massive contracts to people who probably aren't quite deserving, but you want people of that ilk, of that caliber.
Rick Pitino taking his sixth team to the big dance. Tom Izzo, old dog, new tricks. I mean, just keeps it going. Out of those two old heads right there, out of those two, Hall of Famer veteran coaches, who do you like to make a deeper run in this year's tournament?
It's weird because I would probably put my stock more in Pitino than I would Izzo at this point, but I have Michigan State going to the Final Four, and I have no clue if that'll work out or not. But I just feel like maybe it's his chance to kind of get back again. I think probably if they went head-to-head, I would like St. John's over Michigan State, but sometimes it's about matchups and who you play, when you play. But I'm intrigued by both because, again, for Izzo, this was kind of his domain for a long period of time, and there's been a little bit of fall off in that program in recent years. And Pitino's just been a great story because of what he's done to resurrect a program that had fallen on hard times. But it'll be fun to watch. There's no doubt about that.
And Tennessee just whipped the crap out of the Razorbacks the first SEC game. And they finished strong too. They could be looking
double bye. Yeah.
They could be looking at Kentucky in the Sweet 16.
I'd take Tennessee over Kentucky.
I think I would too, especially with Lamont Butler potentially still being banged up. Brett, what do you make of Tennessee? I got them in the Final Four.
I don't. I mean, there's been a couple of teams, Phil, I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's just hard for me to kind of figure out. And it's been in the whole Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee cycle, because you'll see them one week, you'll see them one game, and there will be just an obvious belief that this could be a team that could get to the Final Four, maybe even a championship game, and then you see them the next week and it's not. And I can't tell if that's because of the caliber of this league or because they have some warts that might get exposed when they get into the tournament. I'm one, though, Phil, and maybe I'm being kind of pessimistic here. I don't think the SEC is going to have overwhelming success collectively in this tournament. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of the physicality they play with. Maybe they'll get something called a little bit differently in the tournament, or whether these teams have just kind of been on empty fighting each other throughout the regular season. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know if I have a great belief that the SEC is going to overwhelm the rest of the world when it comes to Sweet 16 or Elite 8 teams or beyond.
Yeah, I have 4 SEC teams in the Sweet 16 and only one of them in the Final Four. Hey, when we're looking at this Kansas-Arkansas matchup, it could be a game of runs. Arkansas at times gets stagnant on offense, go 7 minutes without a field goal. What's the key? I think the key is points in the paint, keeping them off the boards, rebounding. And, you don't want to turn the ball over. You want to make free throws, all sorts of things. But I really think it's going to come down to who can protect the paint, who plays better around the rim. How do you see this one going?
No, I think you're onto something, Matt. It's funny. I was having a conversation with a coworker maybe 10 minutes ago, and I said the one thing that scares me about Arkansas more than any other is that in a lot of games down the stretch, they've had an 8 or 10 minute stretch where they have played like they've never played the game before. I mean, you're talking about a 7-8 minute stretch where you have a 15-point lead and all of a sudden you're down a point.
Mm-hmm.
This is against the South Carolinas, the Texases, and the Ole Misses and whatnot. I don't know if they can afford to do that. The one thing that jumps out to me about Kansas, at least from a numerical standpoint, and I know they've had some ups and downs, they shoot the ball pretty well, and their opponents don't. So, Arkansas wins games when they can really grind it down and kind of just instill their will and their style of play on opposing teams. But obviously, to me, again, part of it, I think, is you can't go through a 7-8 minute stretch where you play like hot garbage. You can't do that. But the other part about this, too, is that they just need to find some flow offensively. I know they can get to the rim. I know they can shoot free throws. I don't think you can win tournament games with 61, 65 points. Some of those 2 or 3 games that they've really clicked offensively, they've made shots, they've been in the 80s. They've just looked a little better from a flow standpoint. So make some early shots. Stay away from the extended runs in the second half where you can see a game turn, certainly in the postseason, that maybe they've been able to find ways to kind of win more often than not in the last month and a half.
I want to see them programmed from the very start to D, and I know they will, and then turn turnovers and stops into quick baskets. I mean, if there's one thing that's difficult to defend this Arkansas team and any team that can do it is to push the ball down the floor. I mean, that's part of the points in the paint is to get the ball to the rim as quickly as you can. There are guys on this team that are programmed to do it. It's just, Brett, that's tough to keep up for 40 minutes. But that's also where some of the lulls come from. Even in the 10-minute stretch against South Carolina, they defended well. They weren't able to push it very well. I still feel, I know you got to score in the half court. You got to be a varied offensive team. But where they can have an advantage, I think, is to get out and run the floor, but it takes a stop and it takes rebounding.
It does, and you got to play downhill, and I'm with you. I think when they're able to get to the rim, there are times they look unguardable, and sometimes they draw fouls, they get to the line, and obviously I think that makes a lot of sense. The curious thing to me, though, about Kansas, and I didn't follow them on a regular basis, but I tried to kind of pop in a little bit during their Big 12 game when they played Arizona in the tournament. But, early in the year, they beat Michigan State. They beat Duke. They beat Iowa State. They beat Arizona. They beat North Carolina. Those are all damn good teams. And I know that was a little while ago, and their last 3 losses, I think, were to Texas Tech, at Houston, and Arizona. They gave away a game at home against Houston that you couldn't give away again if you played it 99 times out of 100 with the lead they had and 10 seconds left or whatever it was. They have really played well against good teams. Now, why they have not been able to play well collectively, I don't know if I could answer that, but they have some experience beating a lot of teams that I think are going to go really far in this year's tournament.
I do want to get your thoughts. You got North Carolina. Their last 2 losses, I think they're 9-11, and their only 2 losses are to Clemson and Duke over the last about 30-something days. And then Auburn kind of limping into this tournament. They would meet up, but it wouldn't be into the Elite Eight. Which team do you think UNC might be one of the hottest teams in the country right now?
It's funny, when they had that first half the other day, I just was kind of thinking, this could be a team that could get to the Sweet 16, because every once in a while you see a team that almost maybe shouldn't get into a tournament or somehow does sneak in, and then all of a sudden they string together 2 or 3 wins in a blink of an eye. I know they've been playing with their backs against the wall a little bit. It almost feels like that Major League Baseball wild card team that barely sneaks in, and then before you know it, they're playing in the American League or National League Championship Series. Like, how did this happen? They were 1 loss away from being eliminated a couple of different points, and they keep on finding ways. So it wouldn't surprise me just because of the route they've had to get to this point. But I'm with you. I'm a little bit concerned about Auburn. I think we anointed them a couple of different times as maybe the best team in the conference, only to see them kind of go through a little bit of a skid. And they play a unique style, too, where it's not the most fluid offensive game. ever. And if they get into foul trouble or Brooms kind of disappears for a period of time like he did when Arkansas played at Auburn, I don't think this is a team that's going to be playing for a championship.
Brett, before we let you go, you got Arkansas, South Carolina this weekend. I love that the basketball team's not playing during tomorrow's game. Hopefully they will be Saturday. What do you think, South Carolina? What's something to look for?
Spent a half hour with Paul Maneri this morning, and I just really love the conversation. They're still licking their wounds a little bit. They had a game that it was almost the exact opposite of what Arkansas had on Sunday, Phil. They were a couple of outs away from winning a game on Sunday and winning a series, but they lost it while the Razorbacks found a way in the ninth inning to win. I know they're a little bit discouraged about that outcome. I think they're playing maybe a little bit better collectively than their talent level because through the force of a new coaching staff and trying to turn this program around. I'll be curious to see. I think pitching-wise, they have overachieved just a bit. We'll see what that's like. The one thing Maneri told me is that they feel like they have been playing in a lot of pitching-friendly games with the winds blowing in, and I told him, I said, it feels like Baum Walker has been the opposite this year. It's been offensive-friendly with winds howling out, hitters hitting opposite field home runs and moonshots. So we'll see if Arkansas's offense, I think, can maybe overwhelm South Carolina if they get some hitting-friendly days. Right now, Phil, I don't know about you, but this Davalon, Aloy, Iredale combination has just been incredible to watch. And the numbers Davalon's put up and what Iredale and Cahillo and Fahiva have done are pretty darn impressive. So we'll see if they can keep that going for another series, another weekend, or another couple of weeks.
Brett, we'll see you tomorrow at the game. Always appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
And you know it, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
It's Brett Dolan with us each Thursday on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. Lots of basketball on TV right now, and lots of wings are being delivered here at TGI Fridays off 5540 in Fort Smith. They're celebrating their 60th anniversary. Two people can dine for $19.65. That's the year that TGI Fridays open. You get two entrees, like a cheeseburger, chicken Caesar salad, blackened chicken Alfredo, chicken fingers, boneless wings and fries, Cajun shrimp and pasta, or a half rack of ribs and fries. It's two people for just $19.65. That's right here at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Halftime is here, not just today, but tomorrow from 11 to 2, and 50-cent wings all throughout basketball. Our number on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline is 877-377-6963. Back for the home stretch in a moment.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!
This is halftime.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
It's your favorite time of year, March Madness, and the #1 place to get all your alcohol this basketball postseason is Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith. Located at 9390 Rogers Avenue, Eastside Liquor has everything you need. Dave Bushko and his team have all your beer, seltzers, wine, liquor, and more. Eastside Liquor, they always come up clutch in the postseason.
Arkansas wins the national championship!
Hey
everybody. This is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full day cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Wave Rural Connect is excited to introduce our new 300 megabit internet service. Perfect for streaming, remote work, and homework for just $64.95 a month. Get no worries, cyber safe managed Wi-Fi for a total of $71.95. Order today at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. We're adding new services and expanding our areas for you. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Call the Hogs in 2025. You can renew your football season tickets today and be there for marquee matchups inside Razorback Stadium.
Sam Pittman heads toward midfield, and Arkansas wins the football game.
This year, the Hogs face off against Texas A&M, Auburn, and for the very first time, a matchup with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You can renew your tickets through the March 31st deadline. For more information about Razorback football tickets, just visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
On this road, you know I walked in alone. That was a long time ago. Now I'm at your and I've been dreaming of you. Do you dream of me too? And I've been dreaming of you. Do you dream of me too? And I've been dreaming of you.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Matt and I are out on the patio at TGI Fridays for Hot Wing Madness. It is great patio weather, and it's already here, not just coming up. Got great deals for your patio right now at H&S Appliance Outlet. Get $3,000 off a 4-piece outdoor kitchen gas grill. Used to go for $6,999. $3,000 off that. It's now $3,999. Gas-powered pizza oven. H&S Appliance Outlet has Unicoda 12 gas-powered pizza ovens. Regularly $399. Now you get $250 off. It's just $149. Maximum 46-bottle stainless steel dual-zone cooling built-in indoor wine cooler. Regularly $699. It's now $499. And that's all at H&S Appliance Outlet in Hot Springs. They're open 8 until 5, Tuesday through Saturday. Matt, some folks had texted in. I had forgotten exactly the time where the Hogs might have tried to get Bill Self to be the basketball coach. That was after Nolan was shown the door after the 2002 season. And he was at Illinois then. And decided to stick with Illinois for another year and then gets the Kansas job, and he's still there. And when was, because Cal even talked about that Johnny Tyson trying to get him to take the job at Arkansas. I think that was maybe before his last year at Memphis. So both coaches were approached for the job before, Cal has the job that he's got now.
Illinois had a backcourt. They had Deron Williams. I'm trying to think of who their other guard was there, but man, Deron Williams, what a G, man. He went on and had a really good career there with Utah. Played with Ronnie Brewer, Coach Jerry Sloan. Like if you were to tell people how to play point guard, you would watch his tape, man. Deron Williams, man, he was good.
Yeah, I do remember him. But
they had another guy that got drafted too. I can't think of his name. He wasn't as good, but they were kind of when we talk about St. Joseph's. There's your Saint when they had Delonte West and Jameer Nelson. It's if you have two guards, there's just so many more things you can do on the offensive side, and then you can alleviate so much pressure. It's hard work, Phil. If you if you only have one point guard that's your primary ball handler, dude, you're by the end of the game, it's kind of like having two running backs. You want to have somebody else that can kind of eliminate. And you talk about stress-free pitches, stress-free innings in baseball. Same thing, kind of give you little gaps, and that's what Boogie's supposed to be coming back to do, is helping kind of spot a couple minutes here and there.
So, and my whole thought now with Boogie, and I think more about it after Cal had said his thumb was still bothering him. I think maybe he said sore. That doesn't mean he can't use it. It doesn't mean he can't dribble, but it doesn't look like it's at 100%. Now, that doesn't also mean he's being rushed back, because I don't think he's going to be expected to have any kind of role other than just to give DJ some rest, and that's the guy that he's going to give rest to. It's DJ, right? No one else.
Well,
maybe Richmond too.
It would be awesome to have DJ have fresh legs. Now, he's a young kid that can run all day. Don't get me wrong, but it will help if you can find 2, 3, even if they come in like 90 seconds, like what you said. So the TV timeout, we all know, is that the last one's at 4, 8. It's every 4 minutes. So, let's say there's 8 minutes and 58 seconds left to go in the second. You put Boogie in for 58 seconds. Then you get the timeout for the rest, too. That's a whole 5 minutes that he gets to be over there and catch his breath and come back fresh. That's big time.
That's a valuable role. And then hopefully, if you keep playing, maybe there can be some minutes increased here and there. But, you ask about what kind of production are you hoping for from Boogie? To me, it's not production. You don't want to be out there and be a zero. I hope you don't see a bunch of turnovers.
I'd say he's such a good ball handler. I don't think we have to worry about him turning the ball over. I mean, you never know. Somebody presses a little bit when they get in, and you kind of have some jitters. But the way he handles the ball, I think we're okay there.
Here's Cal and Boogie.
It was good today. His hand was bothering him a little bit, so he went light. But I'm trying to think of the rotation. How am I going to do this? It was a great story when he came and said, look, I'm going to be able to go, but I don't want to hurt the team. They're doing some good stuff. But then he said, but if I can help this, I said, yeah, you can help us. We only have 7 guys. How we rotate this and how we slide him in is going to be really important. And I'm just telling him, just go be you. Don't worry about making shots. Shoot balls. If they go, they go. If they don't, they don't. Do some of the stuff you did before you went down.
If his thumb isn't feeling 100%, I appreciate this too. You don't want the opponent to think this guy's not going to shoot, so we don't have to worry about it. You want him to at least think that he can make a bucket.
I feel confident with Boogie shooting a spot up 3 with nobody on him. If people are going to sag off of him, I would like that shot.
JT says you rest DJ for 5 to 7, Nelly for 6 to 8, and maybe 10 to 15 minutes throughout the game at most. That sound about right? 10 to 15? I'd think maybe 8 to 10.
Every game is situational, of course, and you see how it's going. What if all of a sudden Nelly Davis gets 2 quick fouls?
Mm-hmm.
Then Boogie's roll. All of a sudden you have to put him in, and then he ends up playing 11. We don't know how the game's going to go. So but I would feel fine with DJ Wagner playing 38 minutes. It's just we'll see how the game unfolds.
877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. High Point had a chance here against Purdue, but the Boilermakers up by 9 points. 90 seconds left.
Yeah, they got out rebounded. Last I saw, they were getting out rebounded by about 15. That's tough to win a game when you get out rebounded by double digits.
Nearly impossible, I would think.
It's tough. You got to do everything else well. You got to either shoot 50% from the three-point line. You got to get 27 free throws. You got to win in transit. You got to do a lot of other things if you get beat that bad on the glass.
So let's see. We got one final. Creighton beat Louisville 89-75. That was an 8-9 game, and Auburn will get the Creighton Blue Jays. So that's the. How many of you got that one right, and how many of you feel really good about it? I got Creighton right.
Yep, I'm 1-1.
I birdied the first hole. Matt, I've never even birdied any hole before.
I birdied the first one too. I had Creighton, and then I had High Point as an upset over Purdue. The good thing is, though, I got Clemson winning that next game, and then so on that other one, I got Creighton losing the next game, so Auburn winning. So the main key after the first weekend is how many of your Sweet 16 do you, how many of your Elite 8 do you still have? It's some of these one-off games don't matter as much, but it's how many of those Elite 8 do you still have after this first weekend?
Want to thank our friends at Valley Family Dental, used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. They're at the entrance to Riley Farm and still providing every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, their same-day crowns, and if you let them know you heard about it here on Halftime, $300 off a snore guard. Dr. Sparkman Farmer and Dr. Blaine Van Nice helping their patients with a better smile, be more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. That's Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A. That's the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith, 226-3500, valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Quick break. Back to wrap things up after this.
It'll be like this one time at band camp.
This is Halftime. It's Hot Wing Madness at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Hey, this is Phil Elson. Join me and Matt Jones for Halftime Live at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith for the first 2 days on Thursday and Friday of the Big Dance. Chow down on 50-cent wings, $3 pints, and $15 buckets of beer. Hot Wing Madness is back. 50-cent wings Thursday and Friday at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Hey, it's Tye Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio.
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or used bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drugstore has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Spring is in the air, and Gelco Outdoors has all the gear you need to get outside and enjoy the spring season. Just arrived crispy footwear, comfortable boots for hiking, hunting, and work to help you cover some ground. Spring clothing by Ariat, Wrangler, Under Armour, and more. Just arrived hunting gear for spring turkey season. Shotguns, ammo, clothing, and footwear. And the largest selection of turkey calls around. Think spring, think Gelco Outdoors. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
We're live in Providence with the Hogs at the NCAA Tournament. Our exclusive on-site coverage at Amica Mutual Pavilion is presented by the Crane Automotive Team. Don't let a busted bracket get you down. The Crane Automotive Team has a vehicle for every budget. Find your Cinderella story at craneteam.com and let the Crane Team put you on the road today.
In your wet dream, driving in my car, saw you at the side of the road. There's no one else around. You're touching yourself, touching yourself, touching yourself, touching yourself. You said, baby, do you?
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
You remember the Michigan offensive coordinator who got swept up in a state. Well, I don't know, swept up because I think they knew what they were doing here. His name's Matt Weiss. He's been indicted today. This went on for 8 years between 2015 and 2023. Just reading from the indictment. Gained unauthorized access to student-athlete databases of more than 100 colleges or universities that were maintained by a third-party vendor. After gaining access to the databases, Weiss downloaded the personally identifiable information and medical data of more than 150,000 athletes. He used the information he obtained from the student-athlete database and his own internet research. He could then obtain access to these athletes' social media accounts, their email accounts, cloud storage of photos. He targeted over 2,000 of them. He illegally obtained access to photos of them in intimate situations.
That's unbelievable. That's, man. Is that dark web? Is that considered dark web?
I think it's considered as dark as it can
felony?
be.
It's three felony.
That's for 8 years while he was employed at Michigan.
Man. That's bad news.
Somebody asked Jim Harbaugh what he knew about this. I'm sure he didn't know much or anything, but my gosh, 8 years, 150,000 athletes down. Think about the effort that it took to get through this.
That'd fill up the stadium they got. What's their stadium hold? 106,000. It's more than they hold in the big house.
That's like half the big house right there, and just athletes alone. 150,000 athletes. Do we have that many athletes in the NCAA?
You think all those camps? You think all the times you got to give out certain information, however many systems you sign up for, and to have the other side of that and that knowledge, man, that's pretty low.
I'd say that's about as low as it gets.
That's pretty low, man.
Well, he's going to be locked up for a good long time, Matt. Won't be watching the NCAA basketball
He
tournament
might get to watch the TV, but he might not be in charge of the clicker.
Don't you think that's one specific segment of hell? is that the NCAA basketball tournament is on, but you don't get access to the channel changer. And the person you're hanging out with hates basketball. And that's the person that gets to decide what you're watching. And they got C-SPAN on instead.
I'm too pretty to go live in a place like that. I know that. So I'll just do what's right. I'll just keep doing that.
We'll just keep watching basketball?
Yeah, we'll just stay out of trouble. How about that?
All right, we're going to make a prediction
I'm
on this.
1-1. My Cinderella high point loss, so I'm 1-1 after 2 games.
All right, so how about Arkansas, Kansas? I say Arkansas wins. They're going to win this ball game. They're going to win it 77-73.
I think if Arkansas wins, we're going to have to score 78 points, 81. Like if it's a game in the 60s, I advantage Kansas. So I'm going to go Arkansas 80, Kansas 79.
All right, Hog reaction afterwards. It's a 5:30 broadcast with Chuck and Zim from the Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence. Ruskin and Zach will be taking you right up to it as well. We'll be back here tomorrow at I-540 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. It's TGI Fridays, Hot Wing Madness tomorrow as well, 11 to 2 halftime. There'll still be $3 pints of beer, $15 beer buckets. Come out and hang out with us on the patio and watch more first-round games. And, yes, also celebrate a Razorback win over the Kansas Jayhawks. For Matt Jones, Christian Johnston back in our studios, I'm Phil Elson, inviting you to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast and also to get up, get out, and get better.